Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to MNW Firing Line, your guide to Multiverse Nexus Wrestling. I'm your host, Jerry Aldini, aka Dr. Caliban, and with me as always is Pete McPherson, aka Storytellers Apprentice. I'm going to get that right.
Good night, everybody. Wait.
And it appears we're not alone.
Hey, what's up, guys?
On the frickin' second.
I know, I'm pretty good at that, aren't I?
Yeah. I mean, I've learned to check. It's like, oh, I can keep going, but wait a minute, is he here? Oh, he is. Okay. How's it going?
It's going good. I missed last week, so I figured, come by, say hi.
That's fair. No,
I just got off a different stream, so from one stream to another.
Because you're a madman.
I am a madman.
Yeah, no, we started deciding to, let's start with the character names, because when people are in character, they forget. Wait, what are those two guys called? Jerry and Pete. Anyway. Okay, before we...
Yeah, I had no idea that 6 o'clock sounded like somebody joining a Discord call.
Kind of weird, huh?
Yeah.
Before we...
Oh my god, I see Rosso in the chat, the man who created the Unexpectabots. Nice to see him here.
We've got a lot of people we don't normally get. Some stuff happening.
Yeah.
We've been getting Rosso lately. We got Omni Geek, who usually has a D&D game right now.
Good one. Minotaur's here. I see Mizuki's here.
Yeah, no, we've got
the Minotaur brothers are always here. It's good to see.
Yeah,
them.
I mean,
Robot's here. Wow. So Apex versus Meme. Let's do it
right now. Let's go.
Right now, we can do it. Minotaurs versus Robot and Sawyer.
All right, but before we get into this, PSA, folks. I've seen some stuff on the internet today, and I got to very lovingly correct a few people. I do not care how tempting it is. If you see some cool geek news and the source is we've got this covered, stop. They are not a reliable website. There, I'm done.
Yeah, but how do you really feel?
I have opinions about accuracy and what a website consistently puts out bullshit. It's like, maybe we should stop listening to them, but it's always stuff. Oh, Captain Marvel might be gay. Oh, Mike Coulter might come back as Luke Cage. Okay, they're making up stuff because you want to click. You want this stuff to be true.
They are throwing darts at a dartboard.
Yeah, and they were right occasionally because every once in a while they guessed correctly. That's it.
Broken watch is right twice a day.
Actually,
or once if you're on military time.
Sure. One last thing, since you're
true.
here and it is MNW related. So I talked to my friend who teaches the RPG design course at the college.
Mm-hmm.
Told him your reaction to him saying that MNW is a completely valid form of role playing.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh wow, I should see if he can come in and be like a guest speaker in my class." And I'm like, well, now it's just getting weird.
Yeah, now it's weird. You should never put me in front of impersonable or impressionable kids.
Yeah. I mean, even college kids, but yeah.
No, it was children
just,
should not be around me of any age. Adults really shouldn't be around me either.
That, I mean, it's fair. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's get into the show. So this was the post Breakdown 5 Flashbang that we're starting with tonight. And right off the bat, we heard from the heavyweight champion, Nero Napier.
Well, strong words there from the champion. So we already know it's going to be Scott E. Stevens going one-on-one with Labris one more time, and an official offer extended to Naja and the aristocratic Cain. He says they have until the end of the night to make a decision. We'll have to see what that's all about. And also a #1 contendership, our main event. An open invitation to the Multiverse. Who wants a piece of the champ? We're going to find out next. And yes, as Nero announced, Apex will be a part of the Tag Team Showcase tonight. 2 8-man showcases. 1 member of every team that is involved will be in one showcase and the other. The winning teams will face each other next week for the #1 contendership. And If somehow one team can win both showcase matches, they will pick the stipulation against the Bone Warriors for the tag team titles and skip the qualifying match. And one of those showcase matches is going to kick us off. We are also expecting to hear from the Omni-Geek, speaking of Nero Napier, about the attack. He has an update, and it is grim news. That's all that we know.
So there you have it. I mean, the heavyweight champ had a lot to say.
Sure did.
So, yeah.
Man of many words.
He is very articulate.
Yeah.
Yep.
For a
Great
legend.
orator.
So with that out of the way, we're just going to move on, right?
It's up to you. I don't know. When
Okay. So
you played it.
Yeah. So, because I had two theories. One, okay, he forgot to turn the mic on, and now he's just leaning into it. Or that was the plan all along, just to mess with people. Because either is possible.
Either is possible, and you'll never know.
I'll never know. All right. What's more important is that great announcement on the two showcase matches for the tag team contendership. What a great way to do it.
It's to have two 8-man matches that would determine whether somebody got to skip the qualifying match or whether it would be, or what two teams would be in that match.
Yeah. I mean, that's such a great idea. Somebody's bound to copy it.
I'm sure. I mean, imitation is the sincerest form of lack of creativity.
That's right.
I think that's the saying.
Something like that. I'm not going to go with it. I'm just going to get into the showcase. I had something, but it's like, you know what? I don't need to necessarily.
Now something completely different.
I don't necessarily need to pour gasoline on any fires. That's not my job.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
I'm just here to report.
Yeah.
So the showcase match. Now, as stated, two showcase matches. Each showcase match, one member of one of the 8 tag teams that are possibly up to face the Bone Warriors in the future for the belts. The first match had Electro Man of Electro Reality. The next person coming out was Bad CG Ghost of Spectre Sonata. The next, Suicide Gemini of Hell's Kitchen. And following him, The Cleaver from Abyssal Void. Otoro Azul of AAA. And the shapeshifter himself, Drathulu of Dungeons and Destiny. And finally, Huge Mane of the Forces of Nature. And I said finally incorrectly because Crimson Phoenix came out representing Apex. Didn't mean to forget you there, Phoenix. Also, kind of big news on the Huge Mane front.
Adopted.
He is adopted.
Adopted. Mazel tov.
Yeah.
Indeed. It always makes me happy when a cool character gets adopted.
Yeah. And we love the Forces of Nature here, so, we're really happy.
Yeah.
And with this, also, it's always fun to see us showcase with 8 strong contenders. And the first elimination goes to the Bad CG Ghosts, taking out Grathulu, the first tag team champion team, Dungeons and Destiny. And they're out at the beginning there. But they have a second chance in the later showcase. In the meantime, Phoenix Down from Crimson Phoenix puts a damper on the dreams of Huge Mane of moving the Forces of Nature forward.
Which stinks. I was hoping Huge Mane would last just a little bit longer. RNG is a fickle mistress.
It is. Yeah, well, that's worth saying. This entire night was RNG.
It's true. Not every single match was not only RNG, but it was all live.
Nothing pre-recorded.
Nothing was pre-recorded. This was as RNG as it can be.
Yeah. So from here, let's appreciate how long Otoro had to hold on to that pin to take out the Cleaver, considering what was going on in the ring. So, good work on the Brazilian Bull's part.
So much strength.
So, very, very strong competitor.
Strong.
But you know what? We don't discount the Crimson Phoenix, who did finally, delete the Bad CG Ghost from the match.
And Phoenix had a really good showing in this match.
Really did. Actually, would make later promos very strong.
Mm-hmm.
finally we have as we get down in here, is it
Down to 3.
down to these guys right here? As we said, strong competitors. Although Apex versus AAA, always going to be some strong emotion there. And then right after that, going straight for Electroman. You know, one of the OG members of Flashbang, but not one willing to just sit down and take it.
Truth.
Could this be it?
And then
This could be enough to put away Phoenix.
and there goes the Crimson Phoenix at the hands of Suicide Gemini. And finally, you have
Two of the
Gemini,
oldest teams,
and Electroman.
neither of which has ever had a shot at the belt.
Nope. Although there was an interesting point that came up with these two in the final.
There was. I will let you say it because you were very proud of it.
I was very proud of it, and especially with Suicide winning it. With this, Suicide Gemini becomes the 8th competitor on Friday Night Flashbang to have won multiple showcase matches.
Huh.
So we now have enough multi-showcase winners to fill a showcase. If Electroman had won, it would have been also true. Either way, we were going to get that 8th slot one. Yeah, it's since we are now keeping track of it, it's just nice to know. Nice to know that that we've got that many strong winners out there. And anything else that comes from it, it is what it is.
It'll be interesting to see where those other teams go, though.
It is. But of course, that assures that one way or the other,
Hell's Kitchen is at least in the qualifying match.
yeah, the question is going to be, do they get to skip qualifying and go straight to the Bone Warriors, or will they have to face another team? We will learn.
That's all up to Samuel Manatee.
That's right, later in the program. However, as we said, this is the follow-up to Breakdown 5, and one person who had a particularly good Breakdown 5 was Victor Vicious and his cartel, and he wanted to let the entire multiverse know what the standing was.
You see, when the Time Bandits cheated to win that whole tournament, they knew that the cartel was their biggest threat. And when given an opportunity to rectify that situation, well, they didn't do it, did they? Nah, they'd rather duck us. They beat the Time Bandits handily, but they can't beat the cartel. They can't beat Mad World. That's why we're not in this showcase, because they didn't want to pick us, which doesn't surprise me. It's a smart business. Oh my goodness, folks, it's Caliban! Are you actually going to come out here and talk about fair, Mr. Vicious? Because if I recall, your little orc couldn't keep his hands off of the illegal men for most of that showcase. So, if we're talking about fair, he should have been disqualified, which would have put the odds in House Caliban's favor much earlier in that particular matchup, if we're being consistent. Hey, look who it is. You know, I didn't ask for the losing squad to come out here and make a big old speech, but it doesn't surprise me that you want to get some screen time. Shouldn't you be, preparing for whatever it is you're going to have your boys do next? I mean, the Time Bandits already screwed up their tag title opportunity. None of you guys are singles competitors. What's your creation up to, huh? You know, it's funny you should mention that. The Creation actually has a match tonight, because unlike you, House Caliban always has plans in motion. Plans upon plans. While you, Victor, live in the moment and can never look past that big nose of yours, I have been scheming for months. I don't have to stand here and defend myself to the likes of you. I have an opportunity later tonight for a match of my own. So if you want to see how a real leader gets it done, since you don't know what it's like to step between these ropes outside of Blackwell waxing you in about 10 seconds, maybe you should stop doing so much talking and let your boys handle it. You see, that's the difference between us, Mr. Vicious. I understand my limitations. I was not constructed to be athletic. I was not bred to be a competitor inside this squared circle, but I am the smartest man in MNW for a reason. So if you believe this is over, Mr. Vicious, check yourself. I'll tell you what, if you believe that the cartel is so special, why don't you prove that you can actually beat the Time Bandits next week? Why don't you have your Mandalorian and your Orc walk down to this ring and we'll have a rematch of the Deus Pulp finals that you lost when you interfered and distracted your own team? Or did you forget that part?
You're on, Caliban.
And there you have it. So it looks like at least one last go-around between the Cartel and House Caliban. It's the Time Bandits take on Hutch Kale and Nitzig Gunk Goblin next week to, I guess, settle the score.
Question mark?
Yeah, it's like, okay, guys, I guess we're still doing this. Be interesting to see. Also be interesting to see in light of events at Breakdown. How's that going to play out? Who else might we see? Tomorrow night we'll find out, I suppose.
We shall.
Now,
Indeed.
This portion of the show, one of the great things that has, of course, developed in MNW is the rise of the audio promos. And we absolutely love the work people are putting into these. And we try and find an audio promo each week, one for Flashbang and one for Warzone, that we felt just stood out and we wanted to give a spotlight to. Usually we try and put that promo in when it's appropriate for the story, but tonight, the best promo, there wasn't necessarily a match that really highlighted it. So we had to pick a moment and we thought, well, we were discussing the tag division in the last couple of segments, and it is tag division related. So ladies and gentlemen, Apollo Hades.
Well, unfortunately, we came up a bit short. The Bone Warriors will go on to do what they do best, and that's hide away and do absolutely nothing for 6 more months, while not defending their titles or even wrestling at all. That being said, Vaporwave still has a bright future ahead. We may not be champs now, but if we can earn the #1 contendership twice in 2 weeks before, we can do it again. That being said, our path is uncertain. We are free to do as we please, whether that's helping Scott put Apex back in its place, beat up Graven some more, or get involved in bigger things. That's uncertain, but we are up for anything. Lord knows I've got a few people left to deal with on my end alone. Anyway, I'm Apollo Hades, and as if you really need the reminder, I'm hotter than you. Also, be sure to check out my book, 101 Ways I'm Hotter Than You. The first 100 customers get the book signed, and if you aren't one of the lucky few, just run into me somewhere and I'll sign your copy.
All right. So there you have it. Apollo Hades. Yeah. It's kind of tricky. Every week we sit down. Part of our weekly production meeting is, okay, so who are our audio promos going to be? And, you go through it, and there's a lot of thought going into who you're going to pick. And Apollo, we picked this week because he's making a lot of strides in his promo game.
He sure is. We were just talking about it while it was going on.
Yeah. So with that, well, now speaking of somebody, okay, so going from somebody who's making great strides in their promo game to somebody that we just hear from like a lot. By the way, quick thank you to Edward Bosco for gifting a tier 1 sub to Sithico97. Sithico, welcome to the House of Caliban. Enjoy your emotes. Anyway, as I was saying, right, it's Scott E. Stevens coming to the ring, because as we heard from Nero earlier in the show, he was going to face one half of the Minotaur brothers. He's going to face Labris again. So far, Labris is the only member that he has faced in Apex that he hasn't been able to beat.
Well, I mean, yeah.
So
Labris.
I mean, the Minotaurs aren't exactly easy to beat, and they're a scary team. I am shocked that they were not in the tag tournament.
Yeah.
But maybe Nero was saving them specifically for Scott because he can't seem to get past Labris.
It's true. One thing you can say about Nero, he's always got a plan.
For better or worse.
Yeah. Stop it, Sage. Anyway, this was, now, again, good match. I mean, no matter what you will say about Stevens, He is a top tier technical wrestler. But it's always the question, how much does that help you when you're dealing with such a brutal monster as
A wall.
Yeah.
Oh, beef.
Yeah, and I don't. Some people keep saying, "Is he a ram?" It's like, no, he's not a ram. He's a minotaur. They're bulls.
They're brothers.
Yeah, look at those two guys. It's just
It's Satyrus Basilicus Minotaurus.
Yeah, I don't know where people come from this.
Minotaur is literally Labrys's last name.
I mean, pretty much.
I mean, you might as well be like Labrys Goat if he was a goat, or Ramus.
Yeah,
Ramus Cordeaux, something like that. I don't know, something stupid like that.
Yeah,
you realize what will happen.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I'm just saying, don't disrespect the Minotaurs. That's the entire point I'm making here.
Mm-hmm.
Especially since one of them is in the increasingly smaller club of perfect records.
He's technically the only person with a perfect. Even though Nero has never been pinned or submitted, he does have losses on his record. They're just parts of team. He's never been personally pinned or submitted, but he has lost. He's been counted out.
Yeah.
So
Satyrus, yeah, not even that.
Not even a little bit.
Yeah.
He's like, there's just not a blemish on his record. He's the only one in MNW history.
I mean, an impressive record. As long as the longer he holds it on, the more impressive it gets. Speaking of impressive, that's an impressive second victory over Scott E. Stevens that Labrys has.
Which led Scott to praise the Minotaurs and question why they were under Nero's wing to begin with how good they've looked.
I mean, this is true. I mean, do you want to know how brutal that was and how decisive that victory is? This,
absolutely.
It was so brutal, so decisive. We've not heard from Scott E. Stevens. Do you want to know how many weeks it's been since that's happened?
Yeah, honestly, it's kind of nice.
And above game, I think Hard Luck's actually busy,
which is fine. I'll take it.
Or wait, okay, hang on.
No. He said, "Why did you jinx it?"
I didn't. I didn't.
You don't have to. You can just pretend like the phone's not ringing.
I could.
You don't have to pick up line 3.
You say that.
You don't have to. And now line 4 is ringing. Like the phone is blowing up now.
I thought we were safe, but no. And
why would you say anything?
That's
like saying, man, I wish Wilson was back on Flashbang. Don't say these words because it might happen.
You think you would learn the night I was making comments about the lawyer, and all of a sudden, I had to talk to him. Apparently, I don't learn.
This is why Burnout says I should start drinking.
Yeah, there you go. Hang on. You know what? We're just going to open both phone lines at once because, if we're going to do this, we're going to do this. Ladies and gentlemen of the Firing Line audience, on the line with us right now is one of the two participants in that last match you saw, the gentleman of MNW, Scott E. Stevens, and on the other line is the Queen of Apex, Mizuki Napier. Mr. Stevens, Mrs. Napier, welcome to the show.
Good evening.
We might be having some technical trouble with Mizuki. We'll see if we get her in a minute. All right. So Scott, as we were saying, you seemed to have had the number of most of Apex, but Labrys still seems to be a problem.
I've been a little distracted. My attention has been diverted quite a bit, and I'm not gonna use it as an excuse for losing to Labrys twice in a row. Labrys is a powerhouse and a force to be reckoned with, and if he were to be given the proper opportunities, maybe he could actually be really successful in Flashbang and an MNW instead of being one of Nero Napier's little lackeys who just comes out to beat up anybody who says something bad about Nero Napier.
All right. Well, That is certainly a position. So what you're saying is no lack of respect for Labris as an in-ring performer.
No, absolutely none whatsoever. And I could just say everything that I said about him 2 weeks ago, but I don't need to. You can go back and listen to the recording if you want to know what I said the first time. I have a lot of respect for several members of Apex, really, as professionals in the ring. A lot of them are very capable in-ring competitors. And regardless of how much thanks Nero can be given for the fact that they're here and the fact that they know how to wrestle, that doesn't excuse the fact that Nero constantly hides behind them and throws them in the way of anybody who tries to get anywhere near him and his championship. And so, again, Nero likes to talk a big game. He's the apex predator, and he's undefeated, and nobody can stop him. Nobody can get to him because he throws all these monsters in front of anybody who's trying to even get close to him, and he hides behind them and cowers behind them week after week. And don't get me wrong, Nero, you've had 2 legitimate one-on-one title defenses, and for those, kudos are in order. But that doesn't justify your defense against the All-American. It does not excuse your defense in the Elimination Chamber. It does not excuse how you won that title in the first place.
All right. Well, now, in all fairness, let's give Apex the chance to tell their side of the story. Mizuki Napier, do you have anything to say in rebuttal?
I do have one thing to say, really not regarding anything that Mr. Stevens here has already said, but
because she knows I'm right.
I'm not saying you are, I'm not saying you're not, but I do have one question for you. Did Zephyr ever tell you anything?
Wow, that's vague.
Well, you said you were gonna squeeze the truth out of him during your fight with him, did you not?
I see what you're trying to do, and I have it on fairly good authority that Apex didn't actually have anything to do with him disappearing. And that's fine. And I feel that one way or another, Jack will find his way back to Flashbang. And when he does, anybody who has talked down about him, anybody who has disrespected him, anybody who is responsible for him being put in the hospital in the first place is going to be in for some major trouble. And I look forward to being front and center to watch every minute of it, Mizuki.
And I do hope that he does recover fully.
I mean, are you guys hearing something?
Yeah, Caliban, did you hit the button again?
I didn't think so.
Mizuki, get your mouth away from the phone.
Sorry, come again? I'm sorry, what is going on?
You know what? Mizuki, Scott, thank you very much.
Close it up. We're
going to commercial. We'll be right back. We're going to commercial. So, anyway, that was weird.
That was, yeah.
All right. Let's move on. Oh, hey, back on everyone. Welcome back to the show, and we'll try and figure out what happened to something cut into our call.
I thought you had just let in another caller, but that didn't even sound human.
I'm not sure what happened there. Yeah, let's go to the next segment.
Yeah, move the show along. Jeez.
Where
This is what I told you not to bring him in here.
I'll remember that in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, next up we have the interdimensional champion Wiley coming to the ring to discuss the status of the championship and future contenders.
While I do not grab the microphone often, I felt it was important to come out here and praise the aristocratic Cain and Brawl Kaiser on their tremendous showing at Breakdown 5. You both showed the true power and grace of warriors, and for that you have earned my respect. But thus the battle rages on. I have been told that a new challenger must rise to challenge for the interdimensional championship. And so I have arranged a showcase of talent, the winner of which may be the next to compete for this belt. However, unlike many champions in the multiverse, I will be competing in this showcase. And should you pin my shoulders to the mat or make me submit, you will have proven yourself a worthy challenger. But even a victory in that match will do much the same. I will always be a fighting champion.
So there you have it. We are going to have a multi-man match, one fall, to determine the contender for Wiley's belt. But
he's going to be in the match.
He's going to be in the match himself. The only thing I was unsure of, okay, what if you win?
I would assume that none of them get a shot, and he just does it again.
Yeah. Well, we're going to find out in a moment, because that match is next. So, as stated, our interdimensional champion, Wiley, being joined by Jack the Questionable, wearing a replica of Shere Khan's mask.
Yeah, when I saw him come out with that, I was like, you have got to be kidding me.
Then Sheepy, the Heathen, Johan Mjoln, the Creation. So there's the match Dr. Caliban was talking about.
Yep,
but
and here's the match Victor was also talking about.
Yeah, apparently we're going to get a little bit more of a preview of that continuing rivalry here. Although interesting breakup. I mean, Wiley immediately goes for Sheepy, which is interesting. They're friends. I mean, Wiley rescued Sheepy from Apex.
Yep, but again, anything goes in these kinds of matches.
Yeah. Give Victor credit. He went after the big, possibly the most dangerous man in the match.
It's either him or Creation.
Yeah. And I think he maybe wants to steer clear of Creation if possible, and then Creation just went after Jack. Now, Creation had, I think, similar ideas, because he ends up going after Johan, who, let's remember, they faced each other in the tournament for the original go at the interdimensional belt.
Yep, and Johan won.
Johan won, and just like in that match, Johan in the Wheel of Pain, that's usually a match ender.
Oh my God!
Johan breaks out of the Wheel of Pain. He's like one of three people to have.
And as I said in the broadcast, you can count on one hand the amount of people that have broken out of that move.
Although now this means it's like, okay, Johan, apparently you've got the Creation's number. Or at least he's not as an indomitable force to you. What does that say about Johan?
And after what he did to Helix, like, Johan came into this as a heavy favorite, even out of a loss.
Yeah.
And there's the graveyard smash onto Wiley.
Well, on Victor Vicious onto Wiley. There's, I think, a lot of messages in that graveyard smash. In the meantime, you've got Jackie Q trying to make his own mark on the Heathen. And, didn't land it. You say what you will about Jack. He's a great competitor, but his one flaw is he sometimes doesn't have that particular move scouted correctly.
Or at the very least, he takes risks that he doesn't have to.
Yeah, it's fair. But in the end, this I say this though, he was looking good at several points. I mean, he manages to get a good shot on the creation. He had Sheepy down. He goes for that risky move again, only to be caught by the interdimensional champion. And while all that's going on, everyone's focusing. Johan, eye on the prize, gets a Ragnarok on the sheep. And everyone's occupied. A good ring awareness by Johan.
And Vicious misses it by fingertips.
Yeah. But, yeah, Johan Mjoln gets that shot at Wiley's belt. This actually, when you look at it, there's a lot going on here. Wiley was a member of Fate. He was a comrade of Johan's. One of the people that voted for Johan to take on Earl King Wes. And now they're at odds.
People forget that Wiley also stood up to the New Four Horsemen when they were here. He teamed with Cain and Doom at the very first breakdown.
Yeah. And
he's always tried to defend Flashbang.
He is the perfect inaugural interdimensional champion. He exemplifies what that belt stands for. And now the scariest prospect, the Empire getting their hands on the interdimensional belt.
Which would be their first championship since they lost the tag belts at Multivania.
That's also true. I mean, a lot writing on this, but it's, a lot of people coming in against Wiley. You're like, well, they're going to have a hard time. They're up against Wiley. But if that person is Johan. Yeah, and after such a significant victory for the Empire, who do we hear from next but their leader? Ladies and gentlemen, it's Earl King Wes.
Once again, I have proven that the chocolate zombie is nothing but a bunch of hype. I have proven that the Empire of Terror is as strong and united as ever before. But that brings me to somebody in particular that I would like to address, and that would be you, Death. Now that I have dealt with the parasite that is Fate, after watching them take loss after loss, Colt, Blackthorn, Graven, they couldn't win if their lives depended on it. Now it's your turn. I believe we've waited long enough for the rematch, and there might not be a title on the line, but this time, the outcome will be different. Oh, and you remember that whole Mask of Hyrule. I'm sure you're very curious as to why he was at Multivania last year. All these answers could be yours, if you're not scared of the answers. Because you see, the first thing you need to do is figure out whose brain was in the real Hyrule. And then you need to ask yourself, where is he? And thirdly, you need to worry about the mask that is still in play upon the face of Dark Lord Popo. And tonight, you'll be able to get an up-close and personal look when you fight him.
So there you have it. I mean, all right, great. Thank you, Earl King. Although he does bring up a lot of questions that have been circling. I mean, once again, when you saw the Beast Hyrule come out, I object to the use of real Hyrule. I think that is a discounting Lade. Mm-hmm. But the point out that that was the Beast's body, but the Beast's brain was in the creation, and last we checked, that brain is still in Dr. Caliban's possession. So whose brain was in that body? It's who else would the Empire have available for that kind of process? So that's disturbing.
Mm-hmm.
And
especially when you think of the potential bodies they would have access to, you're like, oh, please don't.
Ugh. So I guess we'll find out. But until then, next up, well, it is the Empire and that mask that Wes was talking about. Dark Lord Popo teaming with the Grim Reaper to take on Helix Sux and Ramoon. So this has been, this is the third encounter, I believe, now between the Jester of MNW and the self-purported strategist of the Empire. And so at this point, I'm sure both of them would just, I think they just want to be done with each other, but decisively.
Yeah.
On the other hand, you're seeing the old camaraderie between Ramon and Helixux, all their time together in the Four Horsemen, coming back.
That group earlier, yeah.
Yeah, they're functioning well as a team again.
And how strange Flashbang has been over the past year and a half, because it was Ramon initially that was on the other side with the new Four Horsemen when Wiley was in that match, and now he seems to have flipped on its head and doing the same to help Flashbang to exterminate the Empire for what he believes is transgressions of the Empire, basically not helping them out by forming wedges between them, or I guess by helping Grim hide, let Grim join, and since then he's teared apart the Horsemen and teared apart the Faces of Fear, as we've seen.
I'm sure at the very least it's a enemy of my enemy situation.
Well, Ramon Pestilence and at the time Panda Assassin, but now the Revenant, were kicked out of the Faces of Fear because of people pressuring Lucius to make an impact, and that was one of the stipulations at the Festival of Fear. And Ramon can't be happy about that. And it all stems back to the Empire and Grim getting involved.
Yeah, this is true. I mean, and Ramon really hasn't held any of that in secret. We know he has the animosity. He's said as much. And any chance he can to be a spanner in their works, he's going to take.
Yep.
I think the thing people should be scared about, since he's already shown he's willing to get back together with Helixux, what lengths is Ramon actually willing to go to get his desired results? Who else would he be willing to team with? What else would he be willing to bring to bear?
That's a good question.
And it should be keeping certain people up at night.
And
Just
probably
saying.
does.
Yeah. And then, of course, you've got Death himself. As inscrutable as ever, but in there looking for the fight. And
we haven't seen him make much of a comment about the Mask of Hyrule being around Popo's face, because the last time that Helix had to deal with it, he thought it was destroyed. But Earl King got his hands on it, brought it down here, and now Helix is face-to-face with the guy wearing it again.
Well, and that brings up a question that has been touched upon. If this is that original mask on Popo, then what's on the Beast? But either way, thanks to a timely intervention from the Grim Reaper, Popo was actually able to get the win over Ramon, which I believe does put him on top in their current rivalry.
It certainly does.
So yeah, there's a lot there, and I'm sure we have a lot of road to go before we have any kind of resolution there. But with Earl King throwing out these new seeds of concern, guess we'll just have to wait and see. Another moment that was significant at Breakdown 5 was the triple threat match for the Interdimensional Championship. Wiley taking on Brawl Kaiser and the aristocratic Cain. Cain at that moment revealed what they look like under that mask. And that reveal led to, earlier in the evening, an offer from Nero Napier to join Apex.
I figured this day would come, and I knew Breakdown 5, with the reveal of what I really am, it would absolutely draw the attention of both Apex and Triple A. Forever locked in a never-ending war. It does sound boring, does it not? But it was not only I that was offered an invitation. You also offered an invitation to that backyard wrestling domesticated feline known as Naja. Her first night, and already an offer has been thrown out. Interesting that you would wait so long for me and yet not for her. Well, Nero, that notwithstanding, I have made my decision. And considering what you've done for many on the roster with your two... Well, now hang on just a second.
Before you make your decision, I thought I should come out here and have a word with you, aristocratic Cain, because I have noticed that there is a pattern of behavior that Nero seems to do around creatures like you. So, before you say yes or no, perhaps you should look at the track record of the people he has helped in recent months. It's not as impressive as you might think. I'm sorry, I don't believe I requested to have anyone come out here. Interesting. So now I'm being interrupted, and I'm being looked over for someone like Naja. It seems that you and Nero don't understand who you're dealing with. Otherwise, you wouldn't be so foolish as to step out here in the middle of what I was saying. You misunderstand the aristocratic Cain. I am not out here to convince you one way or the other. In my opinion, if you were to make up your mind and do neither of these things, I would be happy. This is not a pitch from me. It is a warning about Apex. You know what, El Pollo? You believe that you're right, that Nero can't do anything for me? Well, I'll tell you what. How about you prove it? Wiley tried to convince Crimson Phoenix not to join, and Crimson Phoenix whipped their ass. Do you think you can beat me, El Pollo, and prove that you have something to show me? If this is what you require to have your eyes open, then so be it. I am happy. You forget, I was not only breakdown 5 card. It has been a while since I have stepped between these ropes, and I would be more than happy to show you that it is not Nero that makes you great. It is what is inside here. Your heart that makes you great.
So there we have it. So sounds like we're going to tomorrow night see a match between the aristocratic Cain and El Pollo, mimicking the issues that happened with the Crimson Phoenix when they were being courted by Apex. Hopefully that goes better.
Hopefully. One would hope.
So, with that, the next match. So, a lot of people had been asking, why did the Mad World join with the cartel in their recent campaign against the House Caliban? And what had been revealed is that the Mad Jester Fool was looking for a rematch against Nitzig Gunkgobla, and that was his price for that alliance. And what we saw last week was the cartel making good on their end of the bargain. Thus, we have Nitzig Gunkgobla, the orkiest orc in MNW, coming to the ring to take on the Mad Jester Fool.
I feel like maybe Jungos and Zach DeWeaver might have something to say about that, but it'd be a hell of a match.
You know what? Which orc is coming down to the ring with a choppa?
That is fair, but which one is coming down with spiked shoulder pads?
Spiked shoulder pads are nice, but unless he's got a choppa or a shooter, I'm going to stick with my statement for right now.
All right, fair enough.
Odd hill to die on, but let's go with it.
Sure. Regardless, Nitzig has been obviously a force to be reckoned with since he came. As we said, he's an orc. He's a great example of an orc. And he once made a man bleed with using nothing but his butt. So,
true.
On the other hand, Mad Jester, we still is he a skeleton? Is that a mask? Is he a person with a skull head? We don't know.
Why don't you ask him?
I'd like to, but I'm scared. Also,
welcome to my life.
Also, thank you to official Harley Quinn for hosting the channel. So, but yeah, no, it's this
was a hell of a match.
It was actually for a match that was RNG and live. 2K gave a pay-per-view worthy match.
It sure did, and it also gave the result I wanted.
So
it wasn't right there, but it was definitely the result I wanted.
Yeah.
No, Travis, no.
And the crowd, and by the crowd I mean at least the voice chat, was into it.
the booty drop.
This was just
and it was a match with no hype. It was just all right. They did fight. All right, yeah. MJF does want to fight them again. Okay, I'm on board.
Yeah.
And then this happened.
Well, and it was definitely the quality of the match that was getting people going.
Yep.
I mean, it's like, okay, these guys are going to face. Whoa, what's
But
going on here?
how are they going to coexist as a group now that this is out of their system? Is Nitzig going to hold a grudge? Is this one shot and done and you don't have to worry about it anymore? I mean, what happens?
Yeah, I mean, these are great questions. It's but you know, I think if nothing else, the Mad Jester Fool is making a point, and that is that, you know, Victor Vicious made the right decision in soliciting their services. Because right there, I mean, like I said, great match. If that is shown on a pay-per-view, we all would have went, yeah, that was recorded.
Yep.
And no, that was just orange. Every once in a while, it gives you a gift. And this was one of those gifts.
You never look a gift ghost in the mouth.
Not at all. Not at all.
Fucking blood from a stone.
Or a skull in this case. But yeah.
Yes, that's true.
True.
Yeah. All right. So next, so there's been a lot going on behind the scenes. So many things happen that are outside of what we get to see. Mm-hmm. There was the attack on Nero Napier, which is still a question of what exactly happened. And it seems that one individual, the Omni Geek, who, utilizing mostly his technical know-how, has somehow found himself in the position of being the lead investigator of shenanigans, not supernatural, on Flashbang. And the Omni Geek requested time to come out to the ring and alert people to a new wrinkle in the investigation.
The update that I've come here with is that there's been another attack, and we don't know by who, but we're assuming that they are related. There are a lot of similarities. The problem is this one is more vicious than the last. And therefore, I'm going to need a couple of you to explain where you were during Breakdown 5. It seems that Blight Howlis has been attacked. We don't know when, and we don't know where, and we don't know why. But we believe it would happen during Breakdown 5, though that cannot be confirmed. So I have to act under the assumption that this happened quite some time ago, because we haven't seen him in a very, very long time. So I'm not convinced that's the timeline. So I need to know where the following people were on every Flashbang for the last few months. Scott E. Stevens and Jagger Blackthorn. I need statements from both of you, because right now, you two are my prime suspects. I also need a statement from Earl King West, and you might ask why. Well, it's quite simple. It's because of what happened to Blight Howlis, something that has disrupted his lycanthropy. It's something very few people could do. Someone poisoned him.
Well, that's disturbing news from the Omni Geek, and we have so many questions about what's going on. We reached out, and now on the phone with us is the Omni Geek.
Greetings, Multiverse. Your friendly neighborhood Omni Geek here.
Hey, Omni Geek. Eric, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I had a question for you. So that you said something very interesting in there, and that was that something disrupted Blight Howlis's lycanthropy. How much experience do you have with the supernatural? You seem more of a tech guy.
Yeah, that's true. Tech's more my. Although I have been able to a few people in the Nexus that know a little more. I don't know if he's ready to be.
Well, I guess my question is, do you feel like maybe you're getting in over your head a little bit with this investigation? Because initially you were brought in to review some tapes, which is right up your alley. You were doing a great job at that. But now that things are starting to veer more into the supernatural realm, do you see yourself reaching out to a group like APS maybe for assistance? Or is there anybody in mind that you've thought about talking to beyond the people you wanted statements from?
Yes, I had definitely been thinking about that. I have a few people lined up that I'm gonna talk to. Also, shortly after that statement, a number of people have come to me with statements. At the moment, they wish to stay anonymous.
Based on what you know about the evidence thus far and the multiverse as it's structured and everybody that's on Flashbang, do you believe it was a member of the Flashbang roster? Are you confident that you can say that, or are you just not willing to do any kind of hypothesis on who this could have been?
I'm not ready to say that just yet. I have a few definite possibility, but outside of Flashbang, it's still maybe.
So you're saying it could potentially be somebody on Breakdown and we might not even know. Is that
on Warzone? It's a possibility.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. I forget that's the other show. Yes.
We all know that there have been crossovers, especially as
that is some huge news if we are now considering that potentially Warzone could be involved, but you're not willing to even throw out a name potentially.
Not just yet.
All right. Well, I tried. Well, thank you, OmniGeek, for stopping by. I mean, I guess best of luck in your investigation, and we hope for another update this week. I guess tomorrow, man. I'm excited to hear what you found out.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, thanks a lot, Eric.
All right, thank you, OmniGeek, and we look forward to hearing from you soon. All right. Well, after that potentially earth-shattering news, let's move on. All right. So
I don't even want to think that it could be the Warzone roster. That would just, I mean, where do you even start?
It opens up so many other, is the Republic still upset? Would they stoop to that level? Is it Meme doing more to mess with the Flashbang roster since they seem to be okay with that lately? Is it somebody from the Flashbang roster who went out? Is maybe Wilson still holding some kind of grudge, or Ginger Boy? I mean, or is it some other element that's just decided to be chaotic? I mean, what if the Faces of Fear? You're right. There's so many. I'm getting cross-eyed thinking about it. You know what? Let's we'll have to see what the OmniGeek brings to us. In the meantime, things are coming full circle. The show started out with a 8-man showcase match to determine who would be the having a shot at winning contendership for the Bone Warriors belts. Eric, do you want to explain the setup again?
For the tag match,
yes,
stipulation. So basically the way it would work is there were 2 8-man showcase matches. If the same member of one team won both matches, they would get to pick a stipulation against the Bone Warriors and skip the qualifying match. But if 2 different teams won each of the 8-man matches, there would be a qualifying match the following week, which will now be tomorrow. And those 2 teams would square off, and we would get a number 1 contender from that. So, in this particular match, if Samuel Manatee of Hell's Kitchen is able to pull off the win, it's straight to the Bone Warriors, and they get to pick a stipulation, which would be huge, because thus far, 2-on-2, nobody's been able to top or figure out the Bone Warriors.
So, let's go to that match. And starting out, the VR Junkie from Electro Reality, Big Rock from Forces of Nature, the Punk Master Ghost of Spectre Sonata, Samuel Manatee of Hell's Kitchen, the man everyone's looking at after Suicide Gemini's win, Lord V of Abyssal Void, Demolition Fox of AAA, Zephyr Tail of Apex, and Lord Bareback of Dungeons and Destiny. So, reminder, Dungeons and Destiny were the first ever Flashbang Tag Champions. Everyone's looking at Manatee, who is facing off against Big Rock in the beginning. And anytime you're talking about an 8-man showcase match, you naturally want to favor Big Rock. He's won more of them than anyone else, by far.
And there's the last resort! Last resort by Demo!
So,
and by a wide margin.
Yeah. I mean, he's won 5 of them. So, yeah, let's just face that the next closest is 3.
That's a wide margin in this case.
Wise margin. And
More
Zephyr
than one.
Tail knocked out right off the bat.
Maybe still feeling the effects of that submission match.
It's true. It was a brutal, brutal match he had with Scotty Stevens at Breakdown 5.
I mean, both he and Stevens lost their match, so maybe they both were showing the effects of that match.
That's a good
But
point.
I love that he came in here and said, "I'm not making any excuses, but here's all my excuses."
Yeah.
It's like that person at the holiday party where they're like, "I don't want to be rude, but," and then they say the rudest thing they could think of. Doesn't really fix it.
No. But VR Junkie assured there would be a qualifying match by eliminating Samuel Manatee. And then the Demolition Fox gets a last resort on VR Junkie. And there you go. Now Electorality's out. So, the question is going to be, who's going to take on Hell's Kitchen in that qualifying match?
Because we already knew that was the set team coming into this, and now it's just down to these 5 teams of AAA, Spectre Sonata, Empire, D&D, the original tag champs, and the Forces of Nature. And honestly, at this point, you got to like Big Rock. From everything that you've seen, Big Rock, you knew he was going to make it at least close to the finals. Ghost trying to survive, and he doesn't make it past that critical strike.
Yeah. And, Big Rock's always been a fan favorite. He's always got the crowd behind him. A lot of
But he was in there with V. He and V went at it a lot in this match.
They really did. We didn't have enough time to show you all the footage of these two, but it was a war between these two. A war that Big Rock wins.
Exactly. Directly. And now we're down to the smallest person in the match and one of the biggest and the original half of the tag champs. Dungeons and Destiny's own Lord Bareback.
And you're not gonna you can never discount a polymorph dragon. You can't.
No. I mean, they're called D&D. He's a Dragon. Fear him.
Yeah. And his mother, Moya Draco, Celestial Dragon. I mean, yeah. And he takes out Demolition Fox. So now it's down to you're caught between a rock and a dragon.
And then look at this, immediately into the action surge.
Part of
on the concrete.
Well, I think part of it is Bareback recognizing how powerful a threat Big Rock is and not wanting to waste any time. But this means that the original tag champions, Dungeons and Destiny, will take on Hell's Kitchen for a chance at the belts. I mean, how great a match is that going to be?
It's going to be a phenomenal match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So imagine if Hell's Kitchen beats not only D&D on their way to the titles, the original champs, but then also beats the Bone Warriors. Imagine what that would do for Manatee and Gemini.
Oh, huge. So real quick, and this is above game. We mentioned early in the show that Huge Mane has been adopted.
Yep.
Do you want to?
Oh yeah, to Mark Allen Jr.
Ooh.
Yeah, Aeon Protech Gaming from the Unexpectable.
Check him out.
And the man who did the Japanese commentary for Breakdown 5.
Pretty impressive. Although you got to question his decision making. He was streaming 2K20 the other night.
I warned him. He was extremely excited, and he was like, "Yeah, but 2K20 is on sale and it's dirt cheap." I'm like, "Mark, don't do it."
It's still overpriced.
I know it's a shitty game, but I'll be all right. I'll run the story mode. I'm like, bro,
it's still overpriced,
bro.
No matter how much it's discounted.
Although, to be fair, he had a lot of the MNW crowd in his stream that night.
Yeah.
Some of them were going, "Don't do it." But
so I taught him about Japanese wrestling so that he could do that commentary. I linked him a couple matches. I thought he did a phenomenal job. And he's like, "Yeah, I kind of want to be a part of this." And I'm like, you're a nature guy. I have a tree person.
Well, and with it being Mark, I'm like, my brain immediately went to, are we going to get Huge Mane promos?
Yeah, you are.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Especially with...
I mean, I might do them. He might do them. We might both do them. Who knows?
Well, and with Gumpsy getting more involved lately.
Mm-hmm.
Stepping back in and upping his game. It's an exciting time for the Forces of Nature. All right. Well...
Truly a force to be reckoned with.
That was How dare you? That was. I'm not going to say it.
I know.
I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say what I was saying because it's mean to you and you're my friend. And, comparison to other bad punsters is just below us. We're not going to do it.
Yeah, never punch down. It never looks good.
No,
Take it from me.
It's just, I'm not. You know what? However, we are going to go after events. So there were a lot of memorable matches at Breakdown 5. It was a packed show. So much so that we couldn't pick a best of show last week. We had to pick the whole effing show because that's what it was. And one of those matches was a bit of a grudge match between the Arcane Protection Services and Doom. And they had a fantastic match that had a little bit of a moment when halfway through an extra commentary crew showed up, shall we say.
Yep.
And the Pumpkin...
In the not-too-distant future.
Yeah. Well, let's just say the Pumpkin King had a few things to say about that.
While I give credit to Mike Davis and his goon squad, with the exception of Seth Jackson, I, Justice Jack, felt there was an injustice done to the ending of our epic conflict. The confrontation between Doom and APS was interrupted by a bunch of meme bots. Robots interrupting my match. Oh, that won't do. And then a trio's title opportunity was bestowed upon Spectre Sonata and that other guy. And then we lost. By us, I mean Flashbang. So I was thinking to myself, if I were to administer justice, as my trademark says I should, if Xericus and Michael Macabre were to get revenge, how would we do it? Well, we would go to Warzone and terrorize Meme. That would be the obvious thing. Go back to where it all started, to our old stomping grounds. That would be fun, wouldn't it? But alas, that would have to be cleared with the brass. So that leaves me with a bit of a dilemma. So let me just say this to all of you. Malice, the Duck Boy, and Zocco, Father Problems duo. You have chosen the terriblest, worstest, baddest team to decide to do your little prank on. You haven't been watching the show, have you? It doesn't surprise me. You don't even watch your own show. But I can say this much. You and your tag title reign, well, it's doomed.
Okay. Oh.
Well, that's not good.
Yeah. I mean, thus far, we've, for the most part, had a... Flashbang has had a amicable enough relationship with Warzone. There's been a couple of crossovers, nothing too bad, until, recently. So yeah, no, that's not disturbing at all. No,
that's not good. Also, to answer your question, Page Mistress, all of Batman the Animated Series, so take that for what it's worth.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. That's absolutely fair.
Because you don't just watch one episode.
No.
One does not simply watch a singular episode.
No, hey, I got HBO Max. I can watch them all again.
There you go.
Okay, so with that said, one last thing we had to go through, and that is the last outstanding question. Who is going to be the next number one contender for Nero Napier's MNW Heavyweight Championship? Well, time to figure that out. And our contenders are the Omnislayer Artemis, the Bulldog Grant Martin, Brawl Kaiser. So we now get our Takahatsu hero.
Wait for it.
And then the moment that, again, caused a lot of people to yell in the audience, Hutch Kale showing up in full Beskar armor.
Yeah.
it's like, ooh, he got an upgrade. It's like, okay, did his family decide he'd proven worthy? Did he go out and make a purchase? Something happened. So that, I guess this is
Wasn't
the way.
it his birthday?
Might have been. I don't know. I don't ask these questions.
Fair.
I just, let's see what's going on in the ring.
I cannot
we're
tell you how
journalists,
happy I
but
was
come
to show
on.
this off. I had to do everything I could to not be like, hey, Sithico, hey, get in a call with me real quick.
Now, I understand that there was a question to Sithico about whether or not this would become his permanent look.
Yep.
I'm not going to ask you what he chose. I'll wait to be surprised.
I was going to say, you'll see tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I know better. I want to see. I don't want to spoil the show for anyone.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I can say, I can usually say it when we're just hanging out, Vaughn. But whenever I get on stream, I will mispronounce it. Sentai is safer for me.
Taku Satsudak. Taku for short.
Yeah.
Taku Satsudak.
And it's bad because Burnout's been showing me a lot of Sentai and Kamen Rider stuff offline. So enough about
Bosco, he is in a call with me already. Look, if he told you, that's up to him. I'm not telling you.
Yeah, no, we
yeah.
You know what?
Always be working.
Spoilers. And
yeah. God.
And we've, like I said, always been working. I mean, there have been outright misdirections said on this show before to keep the story going.
It's true.
And
true. I am not above doing everything I can, short of outright lying, which I think I've only done a couple times.
You've only done it that I know of once, and that was...
Yeah, I try not to lie because that's cheating. I try to just twist the words as best I can.
Well, and even then you said, hey, there's a draft. You just said, oh, it's going to be in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
That's the closest you've got to outright lying. And even then it was just when the timeline
And then, even then I said probably.
Yeah.
It was a qualifier. And now Artemis with the tap out. And what a story this sets up.
I mean...
Talk about a guy who's been on a hot streak. Since he's come back from being banished... He's only lost once. Mm-hmm. He beat the Cleaver at Breakdown 5, and now he taps out Hutch Kale to become the #1 contender to potentially get revenge on the man who knocked him out of, and this takes you back because Will was on fucking Flashbang, the 64-man tournament.
Right, and then that doesn't even touch on the fact that in his role as an Omni Slayer, Jagger Blackthorn had a lot of issues with Nero Napier.
Yep. And Apex in general, they've had a lot of history with Jagger. So, man, it's funny how things can work out.
Yeah, and boy, if he gets that belt, because I think Artemis has a list of people he'd like to have some stern conversations with.
Mm-hmm.
That holding that belt could give him a lot of leverage to get things done. It's just, yeah. Well. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Flashbang moment of the week. And this week was one we had a lot of discussion of what we were going to do.
The whole fucking show. Sorry.
You know what? That
last week.
You can only get away with that so many times. There were a few moments where we were like, it could be this, it could be that. I mean, there were some great matches. There's a lot of story here. But we ended up agreeing that we felt there was a weight to what we picked. But first, ladies and gentlemen, a word from our sponsor.
Has this ever been a problem for you? You're in a match with a namby-pamby punch-to-the-face goody two-shoes who is just begging for a new chair imprint on their stupid forehead. But under the ring, you find nothing! We here at Chairs Are Us understand. That's why we carry all different types of chairs, pipes, stairs, kendo sticks, and a whole bottle of mayonnaise that are specifically designed to be applied directly to your next goody two-shoes stupid, ugly forehead. Remember, Chairs Are Us, where we handle all your problems face first.
And now looking for this neck breaker on demo. Into the cover. Referee having some problems getting back in the ring. Ref, what are you doing? Count the 3. 2, 3. And there goes Demo. Demolition Fox has been eliminated. We're down to Big Rock and Bareback. He's got him up. Action surge again. On the outside, Bareback is a man possessed.
And there you have it. Moment of the week. The one half of the original tag team champions wins a shot to go after the belts again. Like I said, that was hard because I was also really heavily weighing the MJF match on that one, just because of how good the match was. In the end, I decided there was just more emotion behind what was going on with Lord Bareback. So there we have it. That is last week's Flashbang. So really quick, what can you tell us about tomorrow night's show? What are you willing to divulge to the audience?
It's going to be another heavy RNG night.
Okay.
Because I got recruited, and by recruited, I mean I stole from Zako Duo the matches that he was supposed to do and did them for him for the pay-per-view for Kurt. Okay. So I've been recording for Kurt. So I've kept the RNG for Flashbang because I haven't had a lot of time.
All right. Well, hey, if it works out like last week.
Yeah. I mean, there might be one or two things that I record tonight, but we'll see how I feel. We'll also see how I feel tomorrow because I have to work. Also, the other thing I should note, I mentioned it in the general chat, but people might have missed it. Flashbang will have a late start, so around 6:30, 7 o'clock p.m. PST.
Right. Yeah.
So tomorrow is the late show.
Yeah, because you're working tomorrow?
Yes, I am working tomorrow until 6.
All right.
So I'm going to try to start the show right after I get out of the booth.
Okay, so everyone keep an eye on the Discord. But most likely 6:30 to
7 o'clock, yeah.
Okay. All right, everyone heard it. We're here. Great. So let's move to the call out for this week. And I'm just going to go ahead and say, because there was a little connection with what we were talking about tonight and tonight's call out. So, ladies and gentlemen, this week's call out from Joe Mojo, he sits down with the Mandalorian, Hutch Kale.
Oh, it's perfect!
Yeah, I thought you'd like that one.
Yes!
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, the call out.
Thank you, Firing Line. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the way. Because my next guest, he is a member of the cartel. He is the Mandalorian. Please welcome Hutch Kale. Hutch, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me. I've honestly never really done anything like this before.
We will try and make this as easy as possible. So, Hutch Kale, the Mandalorian, member of the cartel. For those who have never heard of you before, what can you tell us about yourself?
Well, I'm a member of a warrior culture known as the Mandalorians. I'm a bounty hunter and mercenary. I've been in many battles and hunted down many dangerous individuals on many planets.
We have a few movies and show that cover Mandalorians from a more fictional perspective, not really from a living, breathing member of it all. What does it take to be a part of the Mandalorian culture?
Well, to be a Mandalorian, one must follow a few codes. The first one being the canons of honor. Strength is life, for the strong have the right to rule. Honor is life, for with no honor one may as well be dead. Loyalty is life, for without one's clan one has no purpose. And death is life, one should die as they live. The second one is called the Res Alnere, the 6 actions. Wearing armor, speaking the language, defending yourself and your family, raising your children as Mandalorians, contributing to the clan's welfare, and when called upon by the Mandalore, sole ruler of Mandalore, rally to their cause. The last code is the Super Commando Codex, a set of rules that dictate how we must conduct ourselves in battle or on the job. This one is to ensure the more savage ways of the past are quelled. With these, anyone can be Mandoade, children of Mandalore, as long as they're accepted into our culture.
Have these codes played a big part in how you interact with the cartel?
All 3 of them, in fact, would, though only certain parts would actually pertain to the job, as I'm sure you can understand. The parts that would affect working, or fighting, of course.
So, how does someone such as yourself come across the Nexus to begin with?
Good question. I was on Corellia hunting down a Twi'lek hitman. You see, he was hired by the High Cartel to assassinate a few business people. He completed his job only to find out one of his targets was in fact a double. His employers were displeased, and they sent me to retrieve him. He was hiding out with a gang. I cleared out the hideout and managed to capture him alive. Upon arriving at the spaceport, waiting outside my ship was Flashbang's at the time general manager, Mr. Rabbit. He approached me with a job, he explained to me what it is everyone does on the promotion, and thought my particular set of skills would be valuable and entertaining. I accepted, and he gave me coordinates that would help me find the Nexus.
You found Hey Mr. Rabbit in a spaceport.
More so, he found me. You can imagine how strange it was, but I've dealt with strange quite a few times in my life. I still drew my blaster on him, though, and he explained himself, and I grew curious.
What were your overall thoughts of the promotion at first?
It was interesting, to say the least. It was gladiatorial, but with less killing. It felt more like a fusion of showmanship and sparring, but with more rules. Where I come from, we have our own blood sports. Even our racing events have injuries or death. But this was like an arena fight where it was not lethal, for the most part. I'm used to that. What I wasn't used to was the extent of everything.
Shortly after you debuted, you came under the employ of Victor Vicious. How did he approach you?
Myself and Jack Questionable were asked to meet Victor Vicious after the match in one of the offices. He offered money or anything else we wanted. Jack refused and stole the money. When it was just Victor and I, he offered to get me out of the contract with Mr. Bennett. But it wasn't what I wanted. So we made a deal and formed a partnership of sort, one where we would work together as relative equals, but he still acts as my employer.
A bit after you signed up, Nitzik Gunk Gobbler went from showcase regular to your tag team partner in the cartel. Was this Victor's idea to pair you two together?
Indeed it was. Victor thought we'd pair well together. Nitzik's strength and my mobility, Nitzik's durability and my armor. Both of us wanted glory, and we still do. Victor saw how ruthless we both were, I guess, and it wasn't until later I found out about orcs, and a lot reminded me of my people's ancient history.
You and Nitzik were on a tear in the tag division, and doing very well in the Due West Pulp Invitational Tag Team Tournament.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to fight with Nitzik, and it was an honor to be in the Invitational. Nitzik pulled his weight, and I'd be lying if I said he wasn't a big part of why we won as much as we did.
I must ask, why did you guys jump Thunderbolt? Was it because you guys lost to him and Sandman in the tournament?
For Nitzik, maybe, but for me, it was because Victor ordered it. You see, I respect the Time Bandits and House Caliban for what they have accomplished. But Victor wanted to send a message that we are not to be treated like jokes. And what better way than to ambush one half of one of the best tag teams in the promotion?
It led to a Survivor Series match at the last breakdown. We asked the opposition, and now we must ask you, how is overall morale after winning that match?
Morale was pretty high. It was the first time we were able to all come together as a faction. It was a big win for Victor, too. He was losing for a long time until recently, and the Survivor Series match was one of the biggest matches we have been in. When he won it for us, it was very significant. So everyone was in high spirits after that. MJF even hugged me after the show, and we ended up celebrating.
That's very nice, everyone coming together. I'm sure MJF was thrilled to get that match with Nitzik. But let's focus on you in the main event. What made you answer the call to Nero's Open Challenge this past Friday on Flashbang?
Well, being a champion, being the best, there's glory to that. But beating the champion, beating the best, that's even better, because you have earned glory and honor for yourself. So when there was an open challenge after coming so close to that glory with the Tag Team Championships, only to have it snatched away, I couldn't resist, especially having helped defend that title some time ago.
Would you try and pursue the heavyweight title again, or would you rather team with Nitzik?
To tell you the truth, I'm not entirely sure. I enjoy tagging with Nitzik, and I wouldn't mind tagging with the Mad World. But I never really gave any thought into getting the heavyweight title before that match. When I answered the call for the Open Challenge, it was on my time. If Nitzik and I go for any title together, it will be for glory to ourselves and glory for the cartel. However, the personal pursuit of a title, I'll do it if I have the opportunity and it doesn't interfere with anything else I have to do.
With all this being said, as we are winding down here, is there anything that you would like to tell the Firing Line audience?
To all the aspiring mercenaries, bounty hunters, and assassins, be polite, be professional, but have a plan to kill everybody you meet. To the warriors, victory isn't worth losing your soul for. To everyone else, live your life with honor and strength, and hold on to the things you hold dear, for they're what gives life. And of course, this is the way.
I would like to thank my guests for joining us, and if you would like to see Hutch Kale bringing them in cold or warm, please tune in to twitch.tv/Edward Bosco for Friday Night Flashbang, Fridays, 8 Eastern Standard Time. This has been Joe, signing out.
And there we have it. Thank you once again, Joe Mojo, for the call out. And thank you to Sithico for getting us some insight into Hutch Kale.
I like that. That was nice.
Yeah. No, it's and
I'm surprised he didn't try to do the accent though.
They're
all supposed to be Kiwi, aren't they?
I don't know. I do. That call out really highlighted one of the things I enjoy about the call out overall, which is the chance for people to, work on their character backgrounds, get more information out there to give us more idea what they're looking for from their characters. It's just, it's always fun to hear, and it's nice that everyone gets a chance to do that when they team up with Joe. I mean, now if we could just get Joe to take a compliment, it'd be perfect.
Yeah. He can just deal with it as we plug him over on twitch.tv/Joe_Mojo, where he's not even here to defend himself. So you can just go ahead and check that out. Whenever he's streaming, make sure you show him lots of love. Yes, Corporal, you just missed it.
Yeah. And we even, when we're doing the YouTube videos, we make sure that he gets host credit.
Oh, good.
So, that's, here's one way. Okay. I don't know if this is going to blow your mind or not, but I'm going to tell you. So, getting ready for putting up some of the historical flashbangs, which will include episodes that had Rabbit. And, we're crediting people and we're using how they want to be credited. So Tim, Joe, and I are all using our real names. And then so I went out to Rabbit. Hey, Rabbit, we're going to do this. How do you want to be credited? And he gave me the answer. He wants to use his real name.
Hey, all right.
So, and I told Mizuki, she said, "What do you mean real name?" Well, and I gave her a hint, and then she gave me another hint that correlated. And it's like, yep, he's using his real name. I'm not going to spoil it here. You want to find that out?
Go watch the YouTube videos. Nice.
Once an episode comes up, you can.
Rabbit has a real name? ?
There is an actual person,
Mr. Rabbit. What do you call him, Will?
Anyway, no, it's just I also the way he was it's like, I'm just so glad you asked. It's like, of course I'm going to ask. There's certain things you don't be an asshole about, and that's one of them.
It's true.
Alrighty. So with that said,
on that boy.
Yeah. Hey, so it's time for Warzone.
All right, guys, time for me to. No,
so this week,
no, I committed during the break. I'm in it to win it.
Okay. Excuse me. So this week's Warzone was the Go Home show for. All right, Tim, help me out with this again.
The Gowl.
All I know is it's goal with the A and the O reversed.
GAOL.
GAOL. Yeah, which will be pay-per-view this upcoming Saturday. But we're not talking about that now. We're talking about the Go Home show, where a lot of decisions had to be made. So let's start with we start out the night with a fatal 5-way match. Tim, was this a showcase? Was this an exhibition? Did this actually have any weight? I want to say this was a qualifier of some form.
Yes, this was to impact who would be one of the participants in the chamber.
Okay, that's right. At the end of the show, the chamber to determine who would be the number one contender for the Exarchoon's Heavyweight Championship. And those men are, well, first, the glorious Emperor himself, Probanaga, I guess glorious former Emperor. The Beef from VIP. Cain coming out for a shot. Citric King. And then finally, Dr. Grimm. The one man who might have some objection to Dr. Caliban calling himself the smartest man in the multiverse. This was quite the mix of veterans going for that belt. I also check me if I'm wrong. Is this the first opportunity Cain has actually had to get his hands directly on Grimm?
No, not specifically. They've had one or two run-ins before, but
Yeah, there was also the ladder match that they were in for Money in the Bank that Jake won.
Still, another chance for Cain to succeed in that goal he set for himself of going after Dr. Grimm. But in the meantime, there's 3 other guys in that match who all are there with their eye on the big prize. Witness Citric King putting a juicer on Probanaga. And I forget what that move is, but looked like some kind of cutter on the beef.
Of course, some kind of cutter.
Some kind of cutter. I'm not
shoot cutter.
Not
Oh, shoot best kind of cutter. Best kind of cutter.
Yeah. And the winner ends up being the beef, continuing the recent strong performances from VIP.
They've been on a bit of a tear lately.
They have. They've been doing quite well. Expanding their roster and winning matches. And I'm sure they would love to get some more gold back in the faction.
They would.
So with that now, if I'm
not mistaken, they're going to get an opportunity at the trios titles, correct?
Go ahead, Tim.
No, go for
it. I was going to say, that is. Let me check my notes. But I believe, if
I'm not mistaken, there was a number 1 contendership match that they lost, so they're going to get the winner of tonight's match at the pay-per-view.
I think we will be seeing that match actually later in this recap.
Oh, well, there you go.
So, or at least a related match later in this recap.
Yeah, I think Meme fights Conquest Bloodline and the winner gets VIP at the pay-per-view.
Yeah. So
because VIP lost the number 1 contendership match, so they were put in the pay-per-view match by virtue of losing the number 1 contendership match. Boy, when I say it out loud, it hurts my brain.
Yeah, well, if that hurts your brain, I got some bad news for you about this next match.
Uh-oh.
Because, ladies and gentlemen, it's Juan Chance.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, taking on Registered Anon.
In what is not officially recognized as a HR match, but many have looked at it as such.
Yeah, there's some HR review. A lot of it, I think, is Registered Anon going not so much who are you as why.
Yeah, just why.
Sort of a Lowe's makes more sense than you.
And that.
Here we go. I said it. I don't regret it.
It was a decent performance by Juan Chance.
It's true, but I do think I've seen some signs of the Juan glow dissipating, and that being we're seeing less puns.
True.
I think people have burned out on the Juan puns, and without the Juan puns, really, what is he?
A punching bag.
Okay, you just sit there and think about what you've done.
Well, I figured after that, at that point, there's nothing left. That's got to be the end of it. That's the last joke.
You think you've told the last pun?
I can hope. I can dream.
That's I'll take it. So with that, and I had a lot of high hopes. I mean, that was the bloody end. I figured it was over, but no, apparently Juan just keeps going and going. And 100 bits from J Frost. Tim, there's always one more. Okay, J Frost, we're having a nice moment here. And it's bad enough we just watched Juan win. But yes, we drag on Juan a lot here. We don't apologize either.
Nope.
Nope. Although I did notice we tend to get a little saltier when we get to Warzone. I don't know why.
Oh, wine getting spicy.
I got a few ideas.
Especially because honestly, I felt this was a really good Warzone. I mean, on the whole balance, looking at how the show went.
Well, as we may not have properly pointed at, this is essentially the go home show to the Gal pay-per-view.
Yeah,
that is correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we have to look at it, this is a go home show. It's doing a lot to set up what we are going to see come Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
I will say the only issue I feel like we needed to know some of these contenders a little bit earlier, because especially for the main event, which is going to be who's going to be the number one contender, you only get a week to hype that up.
Yeah.
And you don't get a show to really hype it up. You don't really get much of a promo opportunity outside of the pay-per-view. So that would be my only. I wish this show was like 2 or 3 weeks back, because it was really good, but I would have loved to see like a build after this.
Right.
Sure.
So with the next match, this was another just interesting setup. Looking at two teams going up against each other. This featured you're going to see a theme of the first of these 4-man teams. Was serious.
Sorry, I got into it.
And then Los Bell Bros. So you've got
Oops, all Luchas.
Lucha Inc.
Oops, all Lucha.
Versus McMorgan, Blue Dandy, and then the Funky Beats. So I guess Lucha Inc. versus Retro Scottish Funk. Not sure how that
Now, you see, I had a different take on it myself, and I personally thought mine was better.
Yours was pretty good. You want to tell people what yours was?
Can you slide over? I can't. It was Funky Blue Kilts, I think is what I said.
Funky Blue Kilts.
Yeah.
So, we like us our luchas. It's interesting to see this meeting of the lucha minds. Alpha Kong, I'm not 100% sure. Alpha Kong's still Omega Club, right?
I believe so. I haven't heard anything to the contrary.
I know.
Well, it's been weird because the Omega Club has been a bit chaotic as of late. So
yeah, I don't really. As of right now, I don't know who's in and who's out, but I always know Alpha and Mega and Kelly are all on the same page.
Yeah. I do feel I did drop one ball here describing the match. This, by the way, is a Floor is Lava match.
Oh.
Now, I can be forgiven for one reason for forgetting that.
Yeah. It never came into play?
Never came into play once.
Really?
It's a bunch of luchas versus a bunch of guys who don't necessarily like going outside. So, the luchas kept it in the ring. Yeah. So, good elimination match.
It is. Oh, yeah. I mean, we got down to 2.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing is because it was Floor's Lava, a lot of people thought it was going to go faster because those normally go faster.
Yep.
But since no one went outside the ring, but also it ended up with, Strongman Bell getting... Go ahead.
No, team Oops All Luchas.
Yeah, I mean, they did really well. It did come down to 2 guys, but in the end, Strongman Bell versus DJ Melsner. Strongman came out on top. Kind of continuing, Strongman has always, he's always been a strong competitor. I mean, well named. There's a reason why...
Lucha House Party.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason why they were tag champions. There's a reason why they won Tag Team of the Year at the Nexus. They're a great team. The fans are always behind them. And, with Glycerius and Alpha Kong, there was Lucha Solidarity.
True.
So, it just a nice match. And there was also some mention, probably you couldn't hear it over us talking, but when you were listening to C-, he was describing something there, a new type of tag division determinator that's going to be happening on Warzone. It was kind of I was having a little trouble following his description, the way he was going over. I felt like I needed maybe a whiteboard and some arrows, but it had something to do with 8-man matches. I did catch that.
Okay.
And like sets of 8-man matches. So there would be like an 8-man match and then another 8-man match.
Okay. And this, would it involve like tag teams?
It would involve
like tag teams and 8 tag teams, or what?
Yeah. So each 8-man match would have one half of a tag team, and then the second 8-man match would have the other half of that tag team. I caught that part.
Got it. Okay, cool. And so like, what happens when you win?
So if if the first match, if the team wins, then that person, their tag team would be in a qualifier match.
Okay.
But then you'd have the other match.
Right.
And you'd have that match, and the same thing. If somebody, whoever wins that match, their tag team is then in that same qualifier match. So those two teams would face each other.
Oh shit!
But
that's a good idea. I might smell burning. That's a good idea.
Yeah, but there was a swerve. Because what happens if the winner of that second match was the partner of the winner of the first match? Oh shit!
Yeah. What if one team wins both?
Yeah. And so that was what was going to happen is, they won't go out have a qualifier match. They'll just go straight.
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
And they may even get a chance to choose the stipulation of the match.
What?
That was the last part thrown out. So yeah, I that's at least what I mean. It took a while. It took a few minutes to get everything explained. I think I was following it pretty well though.
Okay.
I think
that makes sense.
I think that's how.
That's a really cool idea. No, that's an interesting way to like give everybody kind of like some shine, but still have like 8 different teams involved. Like that's a smart idea.
Yeah. Got to give him credit. You don't know where the inspiration comes from.
I'll tell you what, Kurt comes up with some really weird match stuff that I could never fathom. And so, I mean, props to him.
Yeah.
Like Flores Lava, I would never think to do. Fucking 8-man tag matches. Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, really, because, how else can you get 8 tag teams involved?
Yeah. The game doesn't allow you to do it any other way.
Yeah. So really, I mean, you got to give him credit. That was a great way to figure out.
War games.
Yeah.
That's how you would do it.
Yeah.
War games.
True.
16-man showcase match. 2 steel cages, war games.
Remember World War?
I do, where they were stacked.
It had 3 rings.
Yep.
That was some wild times. Anyway, I think that's enough about that. I mean, we'll probably learn more about whatever this new. I don't even know if it has a name yet, but I do know that we'll hear more about it at Gaul.
Mm-hmm.
In the meantime, we've got another. This was for Big Oof contention or for Nexus Titan contention?
That's a good question.
I'm trying to remember. Let's look at the guys and then
I can tell you when I see the match.
All right. So it starts off with Power Surge.
Big Oof.
As Big Oof. Okay. And then. The common writer of Warzone, Mega Blitz X, then Suplex Sam of
old member of NWO. So interesting, him and Surge are in this.
Yeah, although Sam is now VIP, and then Lieutenant Phoenix Hilux. Yeah, this was so. A lot of people have been accusing Suplex Sam of being Steinerized.
What makes you say that?
His headdress, but I object to that because that would lead to a copyright battle between him and the main man.
Yep.
And the main man has a better lawyer.
It's true, they do.
So,
he's got Gorwheel.
Strong
Gorwheel
point.
Is, as we all know, certifiable. I mean, a certified lawyer.
Certified, yeah, he's credited and
certified and certifiable.
Yeah, the main man found a guy who will never get disbarred.
That's right. Even if he gets armbarred.
Ooh-wee! Anyway, hell of a match going on.
Yeah, no,
Alabama
actually is a pretty good match. I mean, you've got 4 really good characters. It's nice to see Sam still in the mix, finding a way to get back in there.
I'm happy that Kurt finally remembered that Cole was an active person who just couldn't watch a lot of the shows live.
Yeah, and especially because I've been seeing him around the Discord a lot more.
Yep.
So that was nice, and Power Surge. We've early on we're making a lot of mini-me to trash man jokes about him, and he's turned out to be a really good competitor. But I'm going to be honest. I'm really happy Mega Blitz actually.
I am
won this
too.
match.
I'm really happy for Mega.
He's
this is a good win.
Yeah, he's been putting in his time, and he's had this come so close moment already with the teacup.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people were pulling for him in the teacup. So right now, if nothing else, Mega Blitz has the crowd behind him.
Mm-hmm.
And that combined, of course, with, as we stated earlier, the apparent dysfunction that's going on in the Omega Club, having something like this happen to Mega Blitz is obviously going to be a stabilizer for him while this is all going on.
Yeah. So some really good work there, and you just one of those you love to see it. The next match. Well, all right. So this next one was interesting in that we're talking about teams we're behind, teams we've really been liking to see. And this next one featured two of them. Two people a lot of people are just right there with, and that is the All Lods coming out to face the Sentinels.
I love the Sentinels.
Yeah.
Whoever picked out their music is fucking brilliant.
Yeah, it's a good song choice
It really
for
fits them well.
The team, especially with the new design on Sparrow, the colors really better match with Daverman, and then of course the All
There's
Lods.
no A in Sentinels.
The what?
There's no A in Sentinels.
I mean,
sorry, I had to say it.
That's okay. Everything was spelled. As far as I know, everything was spelled correctly in the book.
Yes, the book was correct.
So, and that's what I go by. On the other hand, Raphael Sampson and Sasquatch Wing, two veterans of the multiverse, and also a team that's been getting a lot of people behind them of late. So this really comes down to the hardest thing with this match is who do you root for? You like them both.
Oh, absolutely.
This was a lot of no matter what happens, the crowd wins.
Exactly.
Oh Lord, they come in with that splash.
Yeah. And yeah.
This is your traditional David versus Goliath, like the quick, speedy. And there was a point on the line here, right? Did we mention that for the?
No, actually, we glossed over that. What was on the line?
So there was a point on the line for the CTQG Cup, Mushroom Cup, Battlegrounds Cup tournament star. So 1 star was on the line, and there you go. So if Sentinels had lost that, Sparrow would have been out of points and been knocked out. But now it's Squatch that's on elimination's doorstep with only 1 point left.
Right.
Star Cup. Thank you, James.
That's it, Star Cup. Yeah. Yes, that's correct. So
the Star Cup, which is part of the Battlegrounds tournament, where you wager star points.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Now, right now, Sparrow lost that point, I believe, to Blue Dandy. So Blue Dandy is actually in the lead of that particular tournament. And just letting everyone know, there will be a Star Cup tournament match at Gaul. But it'll be the first one to not feature Sparrow. It will be a 2 out of 3 falls Hell in a Cell match between The Beef and Probanaga.
2 out of 3 falls in a cell. Ooh.
Kick his ass, Beef.
So yeah, and that's it'll with that we will then have 2 people up for at 3 each as the points get passed around and as people gain advantage in those tournaments matches, especially because you can bet right now people are being conservative. They're only choosing to bet 1 point at a time. But at some point, especially if somebody maybe collects a few more points, you might start seeing bigger bets occurring.
Well, and then you have to start looking at the quote unquote buyout potential. You know, if somebody starts having more points, are they essentially going to start buying out people's points? You know, wagering more than they can afford to get them out as quick as possible.
I mean, that's a good point. And we'll, especially because both parties have to agree. But you have to imagine.
Yes, they have to agree. But if you're not going to put your points on the line, you're never going to get off the schneid.
Yeah.
And then everybody else is just going to stack the points. So, yeah, you'll last till the last person, technically, if you're the only one that won't fight. But then it's like 10 points to 1. And you have to win so many matches in a row that you're just not going to do it.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's really an advantage to ducking and dodging.
No. Plus, if you look at the 8 participants, none of them are the type to back down.
But if I'm everybody else, I'm going after Squatch. I'm trying to get that. I'm trying to knock him out.
Yeah.
Just like Squatch did to Sparrow.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a decent strategy, and it'll be interesting to see who makes that next grab. In the meantime, so this next match, this has to, I have to imagine that this was a strange match for some people. Because you have Wilson, the son of Will, coming out against Carnival. And so it has to be weird for suddenly to have a match where Wilson is legitimately prettier.
Yeah, that's really weird.
Than the person he's taking on. Where,
yeah, it's because objectively you're not wrong.
Yeah. So that just has
this was almost like remember when Wilson fought Juan Jabber?
Yeah.
Who?
This is like a step up from that.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I don't really want either of these people to win.
Mm-hmm.
Chair in the ring.
Yeah, yeah. And there's
I mean, the ring could fall apart. That'd be nice.
Spine buster on the chair.
It's possible. Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, it's going to this match. And my first thought was, I guess I'm rooting for Carnival.
And the Doctor of Albinomics looking extra Jersey Shored that night.
Yeah, yeah. True. A lot of people are like, what the hell is going on? Why is he wearing a suit? And then they saw when he jumped up on the ring, what he was actually wearing. And once they realized he was wearing that suit with jorts, they were like, okay, well, I guess that's acceptable.
I mean, acceptable is a bit of a stretch. Understandable.
Yeah, it's fair. That's fair. Yeah, and there they are. There are those jorts. And I think the jorts were actually a good strategic point because the ref couldn't believe what he was seeing.
Is he also wearing dress shoes?
I thought he was wearing his boots.
He may have been. He may have been.
You know, I'll tell you what, we're not going back to look.
No.
Because that would just make this segment last longer, and I don't think either of us want that.
I don't think anybody wants that.
That being said, though, there are a lot of impressive moves shown by both wrestlers.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing: as much as we rag on him, Wilson is in fact a skilled wrestler.
He used to be.
Yeah, I mean, he put in the work, and Carnival can do some interesting stuff. But in the end, Wilson won, and for once, I guess I'm okay with it.
Yeah,
wasn't the worst. I mean, it was kind of and here's the thing. Overall, I'm pretty happy with the direction of Conquest Bloodline of late. I think they've been working really hard. I do feel that Sam Jax has shown great strategic sense. You know, they've got a strong leader, made some great choices, managed to, through excellent strategic planning, get the Nexus Titan Championship. And things have been generally going the way of the Bloodline since then. With that said, there's still moments where I look at it and go, what the hell? And I would have been okay with Carnival if I hadn't learned.
I mean, we have to look at the fact that both of these guys are part of factions that right now, when we're talking about a faction war, these are members of two of the members of these faction wars with the most focus on them right now.
That's true. I was going to say, with Carnival, I think really the thing that got me was when I learned about the hotline. So, there was that. And JMP on that 60 trip. Yeah, I hope you remember that on Sunday, JMP. That's all I'm going to say. Actually, you know what? Hang on. I'm seeing something on the phone line.
No, please don't.
I mean, he's been waiting.
You remember what happened last time, right?
I do, but I mean, he's been really patient. He's actually been sitting on hold for like an hour.
Yeah, but do you really want more creep?
You know what? I control the mute button. Look,
there's not enough Mr. Rabbits in this call.
We'll try it out. We'll see how it goes. If it gets really bad, I'll have Phyllis pull the plug. Okay?
Yeah. Okay. Whatever you say, Jerry.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Carnival.
I'm sitting next to your broadcast partner.
You do that.
Okay.
Sorry, Connie and Val are actually, they're in the hotline right now. The fucking lawyer.
Okay, well, then who are you?
Call me Chuck. I'm the lawyer for the bloodline.
Okay.
Wait, legal representation?
Oh yeah, they don't talk about me because, well...
Wait, Conquest has a lawyer?
How do you believe that they're actually still in business after the shit they pulled?
Money laundering?
Well, you're half right.
I'm going to stop. This is a criminal offense. Whatever, lawyer boy. Jerry, he's all yours.
Yeah, okay. So you've been waiting to talk. So what is it you had to share with us, sir?
Oh, the one thing. VIP, please stop shoot Carney. Because, God, I've been going through so many bottles of alcohol trying to figure out that paperwork. Because the restraining papers are numerous.
Okay. Do you have anything else you want to share?
Yes. For the people at home who are worried about Gorm, trouncing him in the crowd, be worried because we can actually not stop him. I had to pay off so many people.
Okay. Oh, hang on a second,
Jerry. I'm hearing from the legal team that maybe we should.
Well, I'm also getting. Apparently, I'm legally. There's a court order. I have to answer the phone line.
What?
Yeah.
I was
what kind of show do you
to
run here?
You know what? Ask the lawyer.
Which one?
Well, actually, right now,
I saw the caller ID.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, apparently for an opposing legal opinion, we have Gore Wheel.
Oh, see, I've been called here. Oh God.
Well, there's a thing, and they said legal.
Hey, Jerry, motion to dismiss the callers.
Give a second. I just want to hear what Gore Wheel has to say, and then we'll.
Oh boy.
Okay. Mister, do you prefer Connie, do you prefer Vol, or do you prefer Abomination of God?
That's them. I'm Chuck.
Wait, I'm just gonna say this right here. I've got paperwork from one Ozzy Tehran, one Beef, one Suplex Sam, one Mr. Doctor of Albinomics, and one Mr. Wheelson, son of Will. Stay 10 million miles away from them. By court order of the Honorable Judge Raphael Sampson. You even violate that, it's off to the big house. And also says here, why are you not allowed anywhere near a petting zoo?
That Carney and Val are strange beings.
I'm going to get in here because we do have broadcast standards we have to match. So let's. I would like to object to this line of questioning.
You can. I thought you had a mute button. Get them out,
Please,
please.
please. I don't want to be here.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for indulging this. We're going to go to commercial like right now. Thank you very much. Take it away, somebody.
And scene.
There we go.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, we're back.
Yes, thank goodness.
So, hey, you know what? That's fine, because you know where we are now? We're to the
Our happy
Warzone
place?
audio promo of the week. So,
good.
In the Flashbang section, we heard from Apollo Hades. The next people we're going to be hearing from, well, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of year. It's that special time of year.
No.
So I present to you Forrest the Fortress Wade.
It's that most wonderful time of the year.
Greetings, fellow champion. It is I, the Big Oof champion, Maximilian Thunderthighs.
Can you say that again?
What? The Big Oof champion?
Say that again. Just the first part.
Okay. Greetings, fellow champion?
I just like the sound of that. So, what can I do for you?
Well, myself and the Absolute Units, that's you guys, are in a 3 versus 3 tag team match.
Okay, and you're fighting who?
The Faces of Fear.
You have my attention.
Well, the Faces of Fear are pretty scary, with almost all of them having some sort of title win under their belts. But I figured if the Big Oof champion and the new tag team champion, the Absolute Units, fought side by side, our Wall of Gold can beat their Wall of Fear.
We did want that rematch. Well, I can get Probanaga his tax forms afterward. All right, we're in.
Yes, Team Absolute Fortress Maximus is born. We fight for the children, hair care, and taxes. Maybe we'll have time to work on a new combo move, like the child tax.
If it's for the kids, how about the max tax credit?
Oh, I like that. Speaking of which, I brought my receipts. These ones are from being around the children. They're, kind of sticky. And I also brought the Toxic Wastelanders receipts. Be careful though, they're a bit scorched and radioactive. See you at the tag team match, my absolute friends!
Sweet baby kaiju Jesus. Well, I've seen worse.
And so that brings us to the match. The Faces of Fear, represented by Lucius Constantine, Grizzly Adams, and the Storyteller, against Big Oof champion Maximilian Thunderthighs and the Unified Tag Team champions, the Absolute Units. And yeah, this is actually, you know, it's interesting team up we got here. I particularly like some of the names people were coming up for this matchup. Absolute Thunder was our favorite.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes you wonder always when you get these thrown together teams, because yes, the Absolute Units are the tag champions. They function together, but Max gets in unknown factor versus the Faces of Fear, which are a faction. They're a team. They've worked together a lot. They know how to work. So, on the other hand, with the way things have been going for the Faces of Fury lately, yeah, anyone's ball game.
Well, and in particular, unfortunately, I point out that with Lucius Constantine being involved.
I mean, that's true. He's, you know, I don't know that we can call him, I'd say that he loses constantly anymore. He's had victories.
No, I would say he's out of that slump per se, but he still does have a rough past of recent. So it is obviously still something on the mind of his opponents, probably himself as well.
Well, this is when I would start wondering: has anyone checked the arena for I don't know, demon wards, holy water.
Now here we're seeing something. This has been a dangerous move, especially we saw this a lot with the I want to say the C1-1 it was, where that submission is a very dangerous.
It is, but Forrest puts it on. I mean, here's the thing: Forrest has been, ever since the Grand Battle, just been showing increasing dominance in the ring. Absolute Washington's doing a great job, but let's be honest, the powerhouse of the team is Forrest. It's like, you look at the Bone Warriors, Spike and Burton. Spike does a great job, but we all know why the Bone Warriors are the most dominant tag team on Flashbang.
Okay, the bottom line. That's what that. Okay.
Yeah. And in the meantime, hang on. Looks like we are getting got a call coming in after that match.
Wait, we do?
We do.
Now
Real quick,
what?
though, I'd like to thank Brawl Kaiser for the raid of 5. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, your big oof champion, Maximilian Thunder Thighs.
He's like a wrestling flat earther. He doesn't believe the... damn it.
Hello there, everybody. How you doing?
We're doing great, Max. So Max, great match. You and your fellow champions came out on top over the Faces of Fear.
Oh, of course. The Absolute Units and Maximilian Thunder Thighs went in against the Faces of Fear, and, well, we faced them, and, well, they faced the floor after the frickin' Forrest came in there and gave them the bottom line. Truly, he's carried that match.
Well, that's a fair way of looking at it. I think that was also what we agreed on our analysis. So, Max, what are you looking forward to this upcoming weekend at Gaul?
Well, I'll be honest with you. The only thing I'm looking forward to right now is the Big Oof title triple threat. I've got 2 of the biggest faces for Warzone right now at my doorstep looking for my title. And to be honest with you, it's scary. I don't even know what to prep for these guys. I could say I could give it my all, but is that going to be enough? I don't know, but I got to do something. So most of my focus right now is getting ready for that match. Other than that, it's just going to be a really good show. I've never actually been to a Gaul before.
Yeah, I'm not sure what to expect. I've heard stories. I mean, let's be honest though. Rapture New Road played fair. He didn't do a sneak attack with the Money in the Bank. He declared ahead of time that he was going to face you.
Yes, Rapture New Road and I have worked together, and even if he did cash in the money, I knew he wanted the title, and we all kind of agreed that Rapture against the Beef was a hard match for him to lose the title off. And if I wasn't here, I think he would have gotten it a lot sooner. But unfortunately, he's in a match with me, and I'm not ready to give it up. But I am glad that he wanted to face me head on. All I have to say to my opponents is, may the best man win.
Fair enough. And how are the kids feeling about it?
They are the kids about the match, or just the Gaul in general?
The match. Let's go with the match.
Oh, they are picking sides. It's pretty much a feud. I've got half the kids on Mega Blitz's side and half of them on Rapture's. They're throwing like IV bags and various things, which I have to kind of let them know that that's not really okay, but they're still doing it anyways. It's basically a Sentai hero versus Tiefling war at the hospital. I'm just kind of sitting in the middle with the title itself.
I see. Okay. Eric, do you have anything you want to ask Max?
You're leaving me in suspense, and that's what I like about you, Eric. You always know what to say.
To be fair,
no,
Eric,
no, I just wanted to say that I've already talked to the writers, so I know how your show ends.
Hopefully, it ends with a glorious, glorious max damage.
Hopefully, it ends with the Beef telling those kids to go F themselves.
Already been talking to Tommy the Swear Boy, and we're working on that part.
Wait a minute. Hang on a second. I'm getting something. Something is breaking. I don't know what's going on here.
You need to fix your board or whatever, Jerry.
It's Phyllis keeps putting stuff through. I don't know what's going on. Hi.
We need to talk to Phyllis.
We really do. Caller. Who do we have on the line?
I don't know. It requires you to press the button, Jerry.
Oh, right. Hang on. Yes. Hello. Who do we caller?
It's fucking Max on here talking shit.
I'm not talking.
Even if it's over the goddamn phone.
It's the beef. Great.
Sorry, this is not the hour of the beef. This is the hour of the Max. How dare you interrupt the call?
Oh yeah, okay. Well, you may get an hour, but I get days, buddy. I get fucking days. Fuck you and your kids, by the way.
It's not very nice language for a PG-13 show like The Firing Line.
Oh, this is PG-13. All right, yeah, sure. Now when the beef's around, everything goes down the X, if you know what I mean.
We'd like to take this opportunity to remind you this is what happens when your brain is on drugs.
The only thing rated X was how I defeated you in the match. That certainly was a beatdown.
I don't want to be in the
Listen, gentlemen, both of your brain cells are beautiful. Now, each of you take your singular brain cells and please leave the show. We're trying to conduct business here.
You know what? I do have one thing to say, Beef. You may be holding on to one of your star chips, but hold on tightly because I'm coming for it.
Yeah, you hold on to your nutsack too, buddy. Fuck you.
All right. Goodbye.
Okay. Oh, and we're thank you for the 100 bits, J Frost. Beef. We've talked about this. We don't want another Italian restaurant incident. Oh no. Okay. Hey, I got a great idea. What we move on?
I agree.
Yeah. The next match featured the fourth match in a best of 5 series. Eastern Block Party once again taking on the Republic. And
honestly, this match was largely about whether or not we were going to get that 5th and final match.
It really was. And this was just a pretty straight up tornado tag team tables match. Which, you know,
first one through a table.
Yeah, just first one through a table. And one thing you all might notice, this match consisted of 2 things. Moving tables around. Really, that's what this match was. It was moving tables around.
Fair enough.
There was a lot of moving. There was occasional setups, and every once in a while you got a wrestling move.
Mm-hmm.
So really a typical tables match. You know, nothing against the participants. It was a tables match. And
fortunately, we had a table that stayed up, and there we have it.
Now, this did even it up because the Republic had come into this match ahead 2-1. If the Republic had won, the series would have ended. So the Eastern Bloc Party getting the win means we will go to a 5th match at the Gaul pay-per-view. And what do we know about that match right now, Pete?
Let's see here. We have 2 out of 3 falls, tornado tag match. No, wait. That's the Eastern Bloc Party in Republic.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yep. All right, so there you go. Tornado tag match, Eastern Bloc Party, Republic.
2 or 3 falls.
So there's a lot of road left to go, even though there's only 1 match left in this best of 5 series. And this is the war of capitalism versus communism. At least for Uncle Dunk and Nice Ice. Don't really know if their partners care beyond, hey, we're having a match. Haven't really heard from McCheese much on this lately, or Locken.
It's true.
So
they're just kind of in the background doing their whatevs.
I mean, last week during the cage match, they had both escaped first, and they were standing like right next to each other, seeming very cordially. I get the feeling all the animosity in here is on their partner's part, and they're perfectly willing to just be, okay, well, I guess this is happening next.
They're very supportive.
Yeah. I mean, they're good partners. That's the important part. We all know that Sir McCheese is like a good bean. And
like a good bean, yeah, Sir Cheese is there.
Yep. So the next thing we are going to look at, there's been a lot of questions over the last few weeks based around the fact that Bart Ender has been teaming regularly with Nakama Worldwide. And this has left the standing question, has Bart actually joined Nakama Worldwide? Well, to set the record straight, he came to the ring to address the crowd.
All right, Trash Man, I'll keep this very simple because I know you like to derail a conversation. I know that about you very much. Power Surge is a good goddamn kid, and he should not be in Nakama Worldwide. At the pay-per-view next Saturday, if I win, I take the Warpgate Hardcore Championship, and Power Surge leaves Nakama Worldwide. What do you say? Okay. You want to challenge me for my Warpgate Hardcore Championship? Well, guess what? Challenge accepted. Oh, and you also raising the stakes a little bit. I love it. Oh, I love it. Bart Ender. So how about this? You want to hear how I'm going to raise your stakes there? However, if I win, you take off that stupid fucking jacket you wear that says Bart Ender, and you put on a Nakama Worldwide jacket, and you join Nakama Worldwide officially. You're on, motherfucker! I already said you were on, pendejo. Yeah, there you go. There's a swear word in Spanish. I love it.
And there you have it. So I guess we know the answer. He's been apparently trying to convince Power Surge he doesn't need to be there, and it's coming down to a match at Gaul for I guess, custody of Power Surge?
Power Surge on a pole
and the
match.
And also the jacket.
The jacket, and whether or not, if Bart Ender wins, Power Surge is no longer part of Nakama Worldwide. If Trashman wins, Bart Ender has to officially join, which I'm sure would at least make Nakama Worldwide an actual faction again.
True.
So
there is that.
We'll have to see how that goes. In the meantime, the next match, there has been a animosity for a long time that surprises no one between Louis McDonald and High Voltage. He's had beef with several members, none the least Aiden Zero. And now Louis has a partner. He has teamed with D4C Trice to form Legion. And the next match saw Justice Jake of High Voltage taking on Trice in a singles match with the stipulation that Louis McDonald and all members of High Voltage were banned from the ring.
Which, that's kind of oddly.
Yeah.
Specific.
Yeah, well, at this point, Trice's only partner is Louis McDonald, so yeah, it was a very specific stipulation. And as we see, Trice is in great form. His skill set as strong as always, his suplex game, the Wrath of Garyon, and
Tartarus.
And then the Tartarus. And but Jake, former heavyweight champion.
Yeah, he was the MNW champion for a reason.
Yeah, not
No
going
slouch.
down easily. And suplexes of his own. And then this music hit. And a lot of confusion because that's Cain's music.
Yep.
Cain's music.
And we'd seen Cain earlier in the evening in that 5-way match to enter the Elimination Chamber. But now we're seeing him again with a new look. Yep,
there with the arcane out.
Yeah, hits that, and he's wearing Legion colors.
He is black and white.
So, I mean, I guess this is, handing Trice the win is him sending the message that he's joined Legion.
Well, if that part didn't, this part did.
Absolutely. I mean, they're celebrating together, and then they are.
Cain finds a nice old chair to hand to Trice.
Yeah. So I guess we know where Cain's standing now.
Cain is apparently part of Legion.
Yeah. It's what the voices in the head told him. So now I'm going to be honest. I think from a overall perspective, if we're looking big picture, this is the best thing that could happen to Cain.
Yeah. No,
I'm glad he's getting a push.
Yeah.
His look, the black and white with his costume looks
really good.
Yeah, it really does.
And let's be honest, that was a costume that got nominated for a Nexie, the red one.
Yep.
And this is
and
clear
safe to say this might be a nomination we see coming into this year.
I don't know if I'm going to nominate an outfit just for a color swap.
True. Well, we'll
Fair.
see. We'll see what the people.
It does
say.
look really good, and I still would have nominated it even more so with the white and black. But just switching it to white and black, I don't think I would give it another Nexus nomination.
I mean, that's fair. But also Cain's been has been looking for direction. And this is probably one of the best moves he could have made, joining up with Legion. Say what you will, they're always
two main
around.
eventers.
Yeah.
It's a former Nexus Titan champion and a former Warp Gate Hardcore champion.
Right. And Louis McDonald, even when he isn't holding a belt, is always hovering in the contender scene. And we're talking about the difference now. We've said before, previously you had those guys when Louis stabbed Aiden in the back. And then with Wonderball, he was taking a rookie and using him for his ends. But these are two veterans. These are two guys that are not just going to be, yeah, Louis, whatever you say. So I guess from Louis' standpoint, he decided maybe I should get some serious contenders by me. And for the others, it's like, yeah, maybe it's time we take matters into our own hands. So
absolutely.
That either way, I think it's an interesting development. Absolutely going to be following. Okay. Now, we had talked earlier about the trios scene and what's going on. So the what we have now, right before the pay-per-view, and this does seems odd to have a title match right before a pay-per-view, but as we said, it appears VIP is set up to have a trios match at Gaul regardless.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it makes sense that when you lose the number one contendership, you get the pay-per-view spot.
I mean, yeah, clearly. But the question then becomes, well, who are they going to face?
Yep.
And to answer that question, the Conquest Bloodline is coming down. Sam Jax, Gorm, and Feel Good Inc. against the main event Mex.exe. And this is for the title. And whichever of these team wins then will defend their title against VIP at Gaul. And apparently my understanding is it wasn't a ladders match, but ladders were declared legal.
Apparently.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's what we've got going on here. And, Meme having come off a title defense just the previous week at Breakdown 5.
Yeah, they defended successfully against Bostonata.
Yep. Now, the other thing that needs to be pointed out is since Sam Jax is already the Nexus Titan champion, were Conquest Bloodline to win this, then he would become MNW's first ever double champion. So that has to be weighing on, especially because Zacco Duo was already furious that they weren't being counted as the double champions after the C101.
Yeah, they would have been the first ever doubles champions if that was the case.
Yeah, but as it was ruled, that title run was not recognized. So with that, we have this match. And as we had said earlier, we've been seeing great strategic work from Conquest Bloodline. On the other hand, you just have this sheer dominance that is the main event mix.exe. But this also... Go ahead. Go ahead.
It really is seeming impossible with these three.
I mean, it seems that way, but there's two things I would bring up. One, VIP has a way of getting around those kinds of limitations. And two, if you think back to the earlier in the show, we heard some very strong words to meme from Mad Jack. Now, I'm not saying that I'm anticipating any interference from the Pumpkin King at Gaul. I'm just saying you can't discount it.
It's true. At the very least, if you put the fear of God into them and they're distracted and they blow it because they're thinking about something else, awesome. Yeah. Also, who's to say that doesn't get resolved after the pay-per-view?
This is true. I mean, this is the crux of it. You don't know.
Because if Meme retains, like Doom doesn't have to get involved for Meme to retain or lose the titles, but if Meme retains, who do they face? If they've beaten VIP and they've beaten Conquest, and they've beaten everybody else, who's the next logical team to face?
Yeah, I mean they faced
almost everybody.
Yeah, I can't think of anyone on the Warzone roster they haven't faced.
So surely they would be willing to accept a challenge from little old Flashbang, right?
I mean, they have before.
Yeah.
So, just throwing it out there. I mean, yeah, the Faces of Fear, except they would have to be relevant in any kind of trios capacity. Tag, maybe. Singles, sure. High voltage, I mean, but see, a lot of these teams haven't worked together as a trios team in a while. And are they a more believable threat than say a Doom?
And a lot of these teams have already had that shot.
Yeah, I would say maybe Omega Club. If Burnout is still, I don't know what the situation is with Burnout above game, but if Burnout is still an Omega Club, him, Alpha, and Mega would have a legitimate shot, in my opinion.
We'll get to the Burnout question in a bit.
Yeah.
That is going to be relevant very shortly. In the meantime, well, so we'll keep that in mind. But yeah, that's a lot of ominous thought. So I guess we'll just have to see what happens this weekend at Gaul.
I was gonna say, it just makes me want to watch all the more.
Yeah. So this next match, tag team competition, we have the Toxic Wastelanders, Domain Man and Gorewheel taking on Chained Hell, Hightower, and the Flame Revenant. So we have two Revenants facing each other in the ring for the first time. Actually, it's
first time.
Don't think is this their first match? I think they may have had one.
It is. No.
It is. All right. Well, I guess this has been
there would have been a possibility of this happening during the C101. Unfortunately, because of some mix-ups with the brackets, they never did end up facing each other.
Okay, so here it is. I think people have been waiting for this one. Is there anything on the line on this match?
This one I think is just a standard tag match for bragging rights.
Right.
Yeah.
Because these are just two very high-class teams. And we don't know who do we know who the number one contenders are for the tag belts?
At this
point, I think this is why this might...
Yeah,
because Chained Hell got the number one contender.
So then this would be for the number one contendership if Chained Hell is on that list.
Yeah, well, Yeah, because yes, this is. I just
because these are two very high class teams. If one of these two teams is going on to face the tag champs, like if the winner of this match is on the pay-per-view card, then that would make sense that this is a number one contendership match.
I just found in my notes. Yes, this is a number one contender match.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, both teams won ladder matches to become to get the spot to do this right now, what we're seeing.
Right, and that was the one where Gorewheel and Domain Man showed some Galaxy Brain tactics in regards to dealing with the ladder. That, of course, being they both went up the ladder at the same time.
Galaxy Brain tactics.
I mean, it can happen. I think a lot of people, again, a lot of people, they're a bunch of meatheads. He's a lawyer.
Yep.
Yeah, so a bunch of meatheads.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I'm watching the impeachment trial. Just because you're a lawyer doesn't make you smart.
This is true.
Oh, shit, I got political. Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. It was glancing.
Yeah.
We can recover. Especially, unlike Gorewheel, who lost to the Flame Revenant, and that's Chained Hell is going to Gaul to face the Absolute Units.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what's going to happen. I mean, and that makes sense. I mean, these two have been hovering at the top of the tag division for at least since Multimania.
Yeah.
So they are due for a solid shot. They've had shots, but they're due for another solid shot. Well, now this brings us to the main event of the evening, and it is a elimination chamber match, 6 men, and the winner gets to face XR Kun at Gaul for the heavyweight championship.
This was a really good match, but it made me really angry.
Okay. So we have Ginger Boy. We have Daggerick. Then Burnout Vaughn. Fear Strikes. Jungos. And The Beef. So, and it starts out with Jungos and The Beef. Now, the question had been asked, what was Burnout Vaughn's status? It was established right before this match that Burnout Vaughn has officially departed Omega Club.
Correct.
He is now an independent agent and pursuing his own agenda. It's also worth noting that we have a bunch of former champions in here. Burnout Vaughn was one-time heavyweight champion. And Ginger Boy was the heavyweight champion over on Flashbang before coming to Warzone.
Jungos has been Warpgate, hasn't he?
Believe he's been Warpgate. We know The Beef has been Big Oof.
So, yeah.
So a lot of people have held gold. The interesting thing is, and I think Daggerick has held the tag belts, and I think, didn't he also hold the Warpgate at one point?
He did not. I don't think he ever held the Warpgate Hardcore.
Right. So one thing I noted is with a couple of exceptions, a lot of these people had been recently in the hardcore division.
Yeah.
So, and then Ginger Boy with the London Dungeon taps out Jungos.
That was the Mad Lad Lock.
Was that the Mad Lad Lock? I always get them reversed.
Yeah, the London Dungeon is the Guillotine Choke.
That's right.
That is not the Mad Lad Roundhouse. So you're not the only one that does it.
Yeah.
Then finally, Fear Strikes coming out at the end.
Yeah. And at this point, after Beef and Jungos have been eliminated, we get these, and then and there again, you have Ginger Boy getting another tap out. Ginger Boy was a champion for a reason. He is a devastating submission specialist, and his MMA background makes him a hard strike. But having been in the match for so long, he fell to the Terror Angel, and which leads us to Fear Strikes versus Burnout. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did these two not face each other at the the original C101.
I believe they were both involved, so I'm sure they crossed paths. Yeah.
Both. I think
Quite
they're both
likely.
I suspect I would have to go back and look at the record, or go back and review the C101 in the MNW archives. But in the end, I guess determination and, well, rage led Burnout Vaughn to picking up the win and getting a shot at his second run with the heavyweight championship as he takes on XR Kun at Gaul. So that's going to be very interesting to see where that goes, because Burnout Vaughn has had a rough year. You know, a lot of ups and downs with the Mega Club, the war with Ginger Boy and his friends, the ongoing drama with Vinsmoke, and now he gets a chance to step up and reclaim gold that he didn't. I mean, let's face it, he has one of the roughest runs with the heavyweight championship in MNW history. All right, well, that is the show. I'm sorry?
Oh, I was just saying that's true.
Yep. So before we get to the moment of the week, let's go over the card for Gaul. So as we said, it'll be XR Kun versus Burnout Vaughn in a no disqualification match for the MNW World Heavyweight Championship. It will be Chained Hell versus the Absolute Units for the MNW Unified Tag Teams Championship. There will be a 5-way Nexus Titan Championship tables, ladders, and chairs match. Sam Jax will defend his belt against Ginger Boy, Glycerius, Jungos, and Daggerick. There will be a Trios Tag Championship Falls Count Anywhere No DQ match. Main event Mex.exe versus VIP. There will be a triple threat match for the Big Oof Championship. Maximilian Thunder Thighs defending against Rapture New Road and Mega Blitz X. There will be a Warp Gate Hardcore Championship Trash Brawl Falls Count Anywhere No DQ with Trashman Jones versus Bart Ender, with the stipulation: if Trashman loses, Power Surge leaves Nakama Worldwide. If Bart Ender loses, he joins Nakama Worldwide. There will be a 2 out of 3 falls Hell in a Cell Battleground Starship match. The Beef versus Probanaga. We will see High Voltage take on Legion. McMorgan against Fear Strikes. There will be a Tag Team Hustle #1 contendership match. Winning tag teams will
Tag
face...
Team Hustle TLC.
TLC. The winning tag teams will face off for #1 contendership, or win if both members of the tag teams win both. So that's going to be the added stipulation of that match that we were talking about, where I felt I needed a flowchart. It'll also be a TLC match.
Tag Team Hustle TLC #1 contendership match.
Remember, that's where 2 8-man matches, where if a member of the team wins, they get to go into a contendership match. If their partner wins the other match, they automatically go.
And we see here that the first match is going to be Flyboy Bell versus Defunct versus Feel Good Inc. versus Gore Will versus Theron versus Grizzly versus Raphael versus Sparrow. And then we see that match B has Sasquatch versus Storyteller versus DJ Milsner versus Daverman versus the Main Man versus Carnival versus Strongman Bell versus CGR Killer.
And then finally, a best-of-5 series match, the final match between Eastern Bloc Party and the Republic. 2 out of 3 falls tornado tag match. Well, all that leaves us is the Warzone moment of the week. But before we get there, we have a commercial break, and it's a special commercial break.
Oh,
got to set this one up, because first off, it's in a lot of ways it's actually a legitimate commercial. It's a legitimate video, a video publicizing MNW Warzone.
Ruffy and I blame you for this.
Yeah, Ruffy, and this
You
is your
started
fault.
something.
You did that jeans commercial, and you raised Travis's competitive spirit. So, ladies and gentlemen, here's a word from our sponsor, and then the Warzone moment of the week.
Jake again. Meme's fucking around on Jake. Meme's fucking around on Jake. Meme's fucking around on what the hell? That's Cain. That's Cain. That's gotta be Cain with an R. Cain. Oh. Cain's wearing the Legion colors. Oh, come on.
So there you have it. Yeah, moment of the week. Also, Travis, great job. But I've received some notes. First, I got a note from one particular main event mech who complained that when somebody wins Wrestler of the Year and sweeps the Nexies, that he and his faction being shut out of a commercials promoting the brand seems a little sus. That's
it's okay. So Zocco is trying so much to be like me. He's even trying to imitate CM Punk when he talked about not being in the graphic on the show.
Yeah. The fact that I actually had I was actually mentioning, I'm going to play that on Warzone this week. And Zacco, I was in a call with Zacco. He's like, yeah, can you tell Travis something for me? Yeah. So that's what I got. I got that from
Also,
Zach.
Nice job, Travis. But here's a critique from the MVP. Fuck your white transitions that just ruin my ability to watch that.
Yeah,
I love that
the
video,
like
but I cannot deal with that flash of light every 5 fucking seconds.
So, yeah, good. I mean, like we said, good job. When I first saw it, I was like, well, here we go. It's gonna. And here's the funny thing. Travis, I knew this was coming because Travis made a comment on the YouTube channel under the last episode of Firing Line when he saw Colt's Gene commercial going, the quote was "seethes in editing," and I knew something was coming. So that is that. But yeah, that's the show. Did good on time.
Now, we do want to cover a couple of things regarding the YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm all ears.
Tim, I'll let you take the lead on that.
So, first off, I want to thank everybody for turning out to the YouTube channel. We're getting good numbers. We're happy with how things are looking. We're keeping a good pace on getting the episodes out on YouTube at a regular basis. One of the things that we want to put out there to the community, one of the things that, as I'm sure many of you watch the YouTube videos, they typically end with your obligatory like, comment, and subscribe. Well, we were thinking we might be able to have a bit of fun with this, considering we have a bunch of people that voice the wrestlers. So we are going to start kind of looking at people sending in little clips. Just, you know, you're a particular wrestler saying something regarding, you know, what checking out the channel, you know, something along those lines. We're trying out some ideas. So we think it's an interesting thing to involve the community with.
Yeah. Now we have to emphasize these have to be short.
Yes.
I mean, they have to be, hi, this is, okay, if I was doing it, it would be, you know, greetings, I am Dr. Caliban of House Caliban. If please like and subscribe to the MNW YouTube channel, if you would please. Something like that.
Yeah, like one sentence.
Yeah.
The doctor will see you now.
Yeah. Yeah, get a catchphrase in if you want. But it can't be a character. It can't be a full introduction of your character. That's not what we're looking for. The assumption is these people have seen the show, but it's another way to hype up. Oh, here are the characters on the show. Oh, dear
If you ever
God.
listen to the podcast, like any podcast that has like a sign off,
Yeah.
where the announcer's like, "Hey, thanks for listening. You've been whatever." That's your tagline to come in and be like, "Hi, thanks for watching whatever. I'm blah 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 blah. Remember to like, share, and subscribe."
Yeah. All I know is that Big Popple Plutonium just went, So there we go.
I could bring the MVP back for a fucking tag.
Yeah.
Sup, douchebags? This is the MVP of MNW, and you're checking out the MNW YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and watch all my old matches because people are assholes and made me retire. Ah, shit. I gotta do take two. Fuck.
So yeah,
Not a promo.
There you go.
The one thing I would say is I would not want it to go longer than, well, okay, the tags are never more than 30 seconds.
Yep.
The actual, from the end of the show to that tag.
Use 30 seconds as a max and see how short you can make it.
Yeah. So those are, just let us know. A lot of this is being edited by myself, Story, and Off Key Line. So we'll figure out a place where these can be dropped. Or if you
By the way, can I make there was a thing I wanted to do, and I'm going to put the word out there into the community.
Go for it.
I need you guys to record something for me because I think it'll be really funny. We were going to create a custom MNW chant just to kind of test it out. And I don't know if you guys remember what the custom chant was.
I do.
But there were two sides of it, and it was for Wilson, son of Will. And the Warzone people were supposed to record Take Him Back. The Flashbang people, I think, were supposed to score We Don't Want Him. Take him back. We don't want him. Take him back. So I don't know where you're going to be getting these things, but if people want to record that so I can test out if I can do custom chants or not and put them on a soundboard, I think that would be really fun.
I will figure out, right now I will say at the moment, tentatively for now, drop them in Firing Line requests. It's our least used Firing Line channel.
Okay.
And then I will talk with, next time I get a chance to talk to one of the mods, I will see if we can get some kind of place.
Audio submissions, instead of booklet?
Yeah, some kind of audio submission spot so we can keep stuff straight like that.
So I'll make it real simple, and I'll probably post this somewhere too. So if you're on Flashbang, you are going to record We Don't Want Him. And if you're on Warzone, you're going to record Take Him Back. So it's that simple.
Yeah.
That's the rhythm. We don't want him. Take him back.
Yeah. All right.
There is one final thing that we are going that I think we agreed we can kind of pre-announce. We don't have all the details together, but it is something else that we are working on. As some of you may know, one of the features in YouTube are premieres. Now, one of the functions of premieres is that you have a set day and time of when the video shows up on YouTube, and you have a chat. Now, whether or not that premiere chat is what is specifically used, or perhaps somebody else streams the YouTube channel, there's some logistics there. But what we are thinking about is the fact that we could essentially have premieres of recent episodes going live, or premieres of large big pay-per-view events. And so first thought right now, how about we maybe give that a shot with Multivania? That hasn't gone up on YouTube yet.
Nope. Yeah, so we're going to look into that.
And again, it's just a chance for more community involvement. We get to hang out and see it together.
Yeah.
One of the benefits with this is that theoretically it frees up the showrunners. So if they want to hang out with the community and talk about the show in any way, shape, or form, kind of like an additional commentary, they have the option to do that.
So with that, anything else either of you can think of?
I think that's it for right now.
Okay.
I can't think of anything else off the top of my head.
All right.
I'm sure 4 a.m. I'll think of
Does
it.
the community have any questions?
Yeah, I
Or
was
do you
going to
have
say,
8 minutes?
hey guys, we got a few minutes. Any guys?
About 8 minutes, yeah.
Yeah.
If there's stuff you want to know about the pay-per-view or stuff like this, is probably the most involved I've been in a pay-per-view, just to relieve stress from people. Fuck you, Papa Plutonium. Any real questions?
So now you know how Bosco's doing. Yeah, or anything else. I mean, I know a lot of people. I'm just gonna say it because I know people are constantly asking, "What's the? Where are we stating on? Yeah, is Will going back to Flashbang?
We don't want him."
Yeah, I think that's the answer right there. I know people are always asking you about upcoming creation streams.
I wanted to do one today, but there were so many things that I was doing that chopped up the day I wasn't able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
The earliest I'll probably be able to do one is next week.
Okay.
Like either Monday or Tuesday, somewhere in that range.
Do we have who do we have left for adoption? First off, do you know off the top of your head?
The only person left on Flashbang that I'm aware of is Sir Reginald.
Okay.
Other than that, we're done. But I also, when I say that, I mean we're done. As in, like, I don't have, I'm maxed out. I have a couple of NPC characters like Dr. Caliban and stuff that take up slots. I have the lawyer that takes up a slot.
Mm-hmm.
But I know I have to download Matrix, who had a character made.
Mm-hmm.
I had a couple people that adopted characters that are not on slots. If you don't remember who those are, I'm not going to tell you. But Flashbang is done outside of Sir Reginald. So if you want to adopt Reginald, you can get on the show immediately. If not, I have to wait for people to retire their characters and filter them off the show before I'm going to be accepting anything, because I want to make sure that people who show up every week get featured at least every 2 to 3 weeks. The only way for me to do that kind of rotation is to not keep adding people.
Right.
So Warzone, a little bit more flexibility, but I'm trying to Kurt is taking off some older characters that are going to quote unquote retire. They're not going to get adopted out because they were just, you can't adopt out certain characters because they're just too integral to a certain person's personality, or they're a self-insert, whatever the case is. So those characters are just going to quietly,
They're going to live on a farm.
Right. Well, they're going to quietly retire, and if that person comes back, great. But Kurt's going to take them off their game. I'm trying to convince Kurt not to add any other new characters, because as we've seen on both shows, juggling what we have is nigh impossible. Adding to it makes that even worse. So we're working on that. Matrix, I have not downloaded the final design. I'm pretty sure Citric has to upload it, but I do not have him on my game. I do have to download your character. as long as he's finalized. So if you want to talk with Citric, make sure the design is good, and then we can build out his moveset on a creation stream next week. Perfect. Awesome. Because I don't have to show off the look or anything like that. I can hide all that. So that when he shows up, people are freaking out.
we have the pop-up plutonium informing us that it makes it night impossibler.
Okay, thanks. Also, I know we've talked about it before. Is there still any potential traction in doing a stream that goes over promos? Goes over.
Yeah, I'd be super down for that. In fact, I would have done it at the end of this show if we had enough time. But yeah, I'd be super down for that.
Okay. There we go. Well, that's I think I filled our time fairly well. Anyone have any other burning last minute questions?
Yeah, we got about 5 minutes. Hey, Bosco, also shill your latest signing so any of your mods who don't know, because I had to warn Zocco and Citric. Burnout, it's not going to be as big of a deal this time. I can assure you of that. But yeah, I'm doing a signing on this coming Sunday. It's a has-been thing.
Okay.
Just be aware.
All right. And all right. Well, hey, I guess it's the shilling time.
I mean, we could.
I mean, I have a couple things to shill today, including one thing that's kind of me, but not really.
Yeah, that's the other thing, Sage. If people really want characters, there's a lot of community members that run shows where you could be like, hey, check out this show. Like there's CDW, there's UCW. Maelstrom. I think those are the two big. There's Maelstrom, which I am sure Bob would love to have more characters.
I think he's actually had a couple of new people show up lately.
Good. That's one of the reasons that I'm featuring people on my show is like I want to spread the word. Like, hey, if you're like, I want to be a part of MNW, but there's not really any room. There's all these other shows that are involved with MNW. And I think it'd be really cool if sometime down the road, if Kurt's like, do you have a character? I'll be like, yeah, he's in UCW. I'm going to bring him over. You have all this history you could talk about in your promos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we saw that at Breakdown when the UCW
Neo.
Tag Team Champion Neo showed up.
I'm basically Flashbang is becoming AEW. That's what's happening.
That's not the worst thing to be. All right. Yeah, I'm going to be talking about Bob's trauma here in a second. Tim, got anything to shill?
Twitch.tv/Storytellers Apprentice. Twitter is Storytellers AP2 because my name is too long for Twitter. I'm going to try and start just streaming randomly in hopes that I might actually stream regularly if I'm not so focused on doing a schedule.
Okay. All right, Bosco, what do we got going? We talked about
tomorrow's MNW, Sunday's the signing, twitch.tv/Edward Bosco, creation stream Monday or Tuesday. Hopefully that's the goal.
Okay.
And and if we want to find a time where we can, in fact, if you want to figure out a day, either Monday or Tuesday of next week and actually do it on the YouTube channel, I'll stream directly to the YouTube channel.
Let's figure that out. I mean, Tuesday would be the better day for me.
Yeah, if you want to, because we could break it in that way.
And you're talking about doing a stream of what the
role play or how to cut promos.
How to cut promos.
Yeah,
because I kind of like to be how to cut promos and how to build your character.
Yeah.
Since we've found that MNW is a legitimate role playing game, it has been declared by a professional and everything. Speaking of role playing games. This upcoming Sunday, twitch.tv/Shadow Dancer Bob. In lieu of the regular Maelstrom show, it is going to be the second ever Maelstrom roleplay session where several members of the Maelstrom roster will be going on an adventure to investigate a mysterious tower. That is going to include Dr. Caliban, Ozir Turan, Strongman Bell. I'm trying to remember. Is he called Mr. Vamp JMP? It's JMP's character. There's going to be a player, Wand, whose character I'm not as familiar with. New. There we go. And who am I forgetting off key? I'm forgetting one member of our merry band that is going.
Donkey King.
It's not Donkey King's not on Maelstrom. Zacko Duo is going in as new. Yeah. No, I think he's taking new, not to get anyway.
Tequila Gundam.
So yeah, check out to see that adventure where all of us in character are going to be challenging the tower. And then right back here on Monday, twitch.tv/Dr. That is Dr_Caliban. We're going to be continuing the playthrough of the old Evil Genius game in anticipation of the release of the sequel at the end of March. Wednesday night, of course, the crew of the Flag and Dragon, the crew that is true, will be probably doing more Sea of Thieves, although we've shown we will do any game that strikes our fancy. And then right back here next Thursday for Firing Line to hear the latest news of the multiverse. And with that, we need to... Well, first off, everyone, have a good night.
Stay safe.
Because that makes a good spot for me to cut the recording.
Oh, wait, no. Because you got it. Because, you know, we were just saying, like, comment, subscribe.
Like, comment, and subscribe. There we go. Get that in there.
Like, share, subscribe.
Like, share, subscribe.
All right.
I'm not hip with the lingo.
Fair enough.